We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook.
Wherever you go, you can listen to the news. You can sleep with the blues on this wonderful, wonderful station. Just take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio. Take a portable radio.
Now, here comes the music.
Oh, and aren't you glad you waited for it? It's the music of your life right here on Q Talk America. It's the show. It's a Tuesday night. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
That's Kat Carlson.
Oh, hi, that's me.
Kat, right there. Doug Wilkie is filling in.
Hey.
Marnie's over there. We can't. You're Baron. Oh, you're on camera. We got you. We got you. That's Marnie waving over there in the doorway. Al Perkins is on. He's on leave tonight. By the way, update about Al. He's perfectly fine. Everything's good. He's laced out on drugs and sleeping at home, so he's good.
I asked him if he got good drugs, and he said only a couple days worth.
Couple. He's fine. He'll be good. This is show 357. This is the 4th of September, 2018. And we're all in the room. Marnie's here. She's got her Red for Ed shirt on.
I forgot mine. I'm embarrassed.
I understand.
Yay.
I understand. But you're not dating a teacher, and she is.
I was trying to stay in dress code for Tuesday.
My
I
bad.
forgot. I
Oh,
forgot
well,
about
welcome one and all. Hi, Marn.
How are you?
I'm well. Doug's here. We're all here. It's all good.
Exciting.
Yeah, my heavens. Our first now, but we're not technically. This is the first show of September, but it's not our. We are not into the fall yet because that doesn't happen until.
In Arizona?
Yeah.
November.
Is it no? But when does the season start?
22nd.
But the nights, the
21st,
days even have been just beautiful the past few days.
Even the
It's
nights are
gorgeous.
better.
As Kat
better.
acknowledged,
I like it.
drinking beer in your
In my driveway, like the
Driveway.
redneck neighbor I was born to be.
Nice. Yeah.
Now is that is
Were
I
you
was-
like in a plaid shirt?
No, just
and is that,
similarly dressed to now, in fact.
was it in a lawn chair?
A camping chair, one of those fold-up,
Okay.
you know.
When I think of it, remember back in the well, you all may not remember, but Marnie, well, no, the three
maybe.
this side,
This side.
this side of the table. Remember, remember in the 70s they were the aluminum lawn chairs with the webbing that
Oh,
went
yeah,
through.
yeah, yeah.
Those were the
I'm
best. I
familiar.
love this.
Yeah.
yeah. That's what I envision you in a plaid shirt.
Yeah.
with a PBR
Yeah.
and that kind of a
In a
setting.
can.
Very similar.
Yeah,
Very
just
similar.
canned beer.
Very
I
similar.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the part that Facebook readers won't know is that I was out there because I just could not stand the 12, almost 13-year-old in my house anymore.
Oh,
Sure.
And I said, fuck this. And I grabbed a beer and I walked out to the
And went
garage.
outside.
And it was hot in the garage, so I opened the garage door and I was like, oh, it's lovely outside. And I sat my happy ass in the chair for about 3 beers worth
Nice.
and watched the traffic go by.
Nice.
Did the teenager disappear, or?
Well, he went to bed eventually.
Oh, okay. So you could come back
Good
in the
planning.
house.
when the night once the NyQuil kicked in for the 13-year-old, we were good going.
Oh, what
Happy September,
what a
Mama
lovely
Di.
day.
Yeah, oh hi mom, there she is.
Missy L.
And how
is
is Bridget
here.
getting paid for this experience?
Wow, Al is in the chat room there. so
Well,
that
kind
means
of.
he's in some state of awakeness. I'm not sure.
Al, have you taken your pain meds?
Well, actually, we should probably ask him how many has he
How
taken.
many have you taken?
He was texting me at 12:30 this afternoon saying,
Yeah.
"I feel good enough to drive to Walgreens myself and get them."
Oh, boy.
Okay, I said, "Well, I
Okay,
can come
good.
pick you up." No, and then he calls me and he's on the road already.
Oh no.
Yeah. Like, I think you're already moving. Yep, I'm already driving. Okay. Let me know when you're home, Al.
Good for him.
I'm glad everything went well.
Yes, he did. He did say. I
Val
asked him
Perkins.
what. And I know he discussed it here on the show, so there's no issue with it. It was a skin cancer issue that he had. Benign, everything's fine. They got all of it anyway. I mean, today when they checked on it, but that little gnat that's flying around. But
Mr.
I
Gnat.
asked him after
I've done it before.
Nice.
when he was all at home and everything was good. I said, "Well, how are your tits?" He goes, "Well, my right one's a little higher."
He had a lift.
So the
Al,
moral-
you got
I
a
like
breast
it.
lift.
Yes.
On one side.
Lovely.
One side.
Yeah.
Well,
That's not as
Well,
convenient
in
as it sounds. Now he's
moderation.
going to have to go for a new fitting. It's going to be a whole
Absolutely.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
but in moderation,
yeah.
a little at a time.
One at a time.
But
Just
if
Right,
you
correct.
wear that shoulder bag just right, nobody will notice.
No one will have any
Exactly.
idea.
Won't be,
Or if you're like me,
Just
and
carry 7 bags?
carry a lot of shit.
you're always off to one side.
Did she have the same surgery as Al? Nope, that's just the bags. Just the bags. Just the two?
Just the two.
No, all 4.
So
I don't know what we're talking about.
Maybe I'll go.
I probably told the story before, but bags reminds me of a story that my mother told. One time, my mom and her younger sister went to it was a drugstore back home, similar to a Walgreens that we have out here in Arizona, and they had a liquor
What's it called?
department.
Snyder Drug?
No, it was called Maze. It was
Oh, very nice.
M-A-Y-S, Maze. Anyway, they went for a liquor run, as we were having a family gathering. So there was a young kid behind the counter, and they said, whatever they had bought, whatever, and they needed a couple bags of ice, whatever, yada, yada, yada. So as he was ringing it up, he went through all of the other items, and he goes, 2 bags. So my mom and her sister kind of looked at each other and just started laughing, and the kid didn't get what he said, and then all of a sudden, oh.
I just need 2 older ones. 2 old bags, please.
2 old bags. Will you be
Not that you want the new ones? No, the old ones.
Will you be loading those bags yourself? Sure.
I'll put them in the car.
Most old bags I know are self-loading. Yeah.
Wow, that's true.
Just get themselves all loaded.
Well, we are off and running on
But
this
that's,
show.
See what I
that's
did
the
there?
first 5 minutes.
Yeah, right there, all done.
That's
All
Good
right.
night, ladies and
Good
gentlemen.
night.
It's been real.
Good job. You're welcome.
What happened?
I don't know.
You needed more. Well, last
I
week.
feel muffled,
Well, here's what goes on.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
As you're out and everybody's in and out,
Yeah, I know,
as
right?
Doug
I
moves around,
moved around,
Yes,
moved
yes.
around,
Is that better?
around the table.
the volume
Yeah,
levels have
thank
to.
you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
We have to adjust it for different ears.
Oh yeah, I
Yes.
had to have that shit turned
Right.
down.
So now this
That's
week,
fair.
this
I get
week
it.
you're in
I'm
Al's
deaf.
seat, and I
Huh?
don't know where you are. Well,
Is that too loud for you?
No,
yeah, are you fine with the headphone volume?
Perfect.
Okay,
He
so-
said,
Al's
I'm
perfect.
like Garrett Morris.
Got it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's translation for the deaf.
Which I don't know why that'll never not be funny.
Oh my God, it's one of the
it's still
funniest
funny.
fucking things ever. Forget it.
Wow.
And if somebody does not know about the Garrett Morris with
This is-
Chevy Chase
On Saturday Night
Live.
That's like season 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Well,
way
because
back.
Chevy Chase, I think, was only
Only
on
on
season
1.
Mm-hmm.
Then he got
So-
a big ego and moved on.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
sure did. Thank you, Bill Murray.
Yeah. Thanks,
But-
Obama.
That's what happened
Yeah,
to
right.
Buddy. Well, that's what
God,
happened
yeah.
on this show. Buddy Early left.
I
Katie
know.
June left.
I know. Look at him now.
We got a
Yeah.
stable girl here who's
I know.
she's just right there. Uh-huh.
I totally get it. It's like The View.
It's the nicest thing
God.
anybody ever says
So
about
View.
me.
A stable girl.
Just a nice, stable.
So
Just a
Old
stable
dependable.
girl, old dependable
has
cat.
That old
Ego.
mare just keeps on going.
she has what I meant by that.
That
was
old
that old bag. That old
A new bag, sir? No, just the old one.
she's our
You know, cat, nice and sturdy.
stable bag.
Yeah. She's
Stable. God damn it.
good and sturdy. I like it.
Give her a lawn chair and a beer. She's fine.
Is she attractive? Well, she's sturdy.
She's got a sturdy gait.
She's like Tough Skins.
She's solid. I don't think
Yeah.
she's falling down anytime soon.
God, she's dependable though. Jesus, let me tell you.
Burly in a way. A good way.
She
Coming
kinda-
Old Faithful.
She kind of manly.
That's also true.
Oh boy. That's hey Nero. What up?
Hello, Nero.
Hello, Nero.
Hi, guys. Bye, guys. I'm off to
morning.
work. Just want to pop
Good
your head in and
morning.
wave. Well, hello, Nero. Thank you very much.
Quit that job.
Hokey smoke. Yeah.
Quit that
Yeah,
job.
quit that job.
It's interfering
hell?
with your Tuesday or your Wednesday morning. Quit
Employment's
that job.
overrated.
Sure. Yes, it is. Well, as we normally do, kick off the first little segment of the show. What you been doing the past week? We'll start off with the lovely and talented and always stable Kat Carlson.
Well, just drinking beer in a nice sturdy chair in my nice,
Was the chair
my
sturdy,
nice-
sir, or were you?
both.
Yeah,
Honestly.
okay, good, good.
Yeah.
Okay. just
As
You know
a-
what's a
sure.
shame is that
As
you
a
don't.
stable woman, I prefer a sturdy chair.
It's a shame you don't have like a old Ford F-150 like from the '70s, so you could just sit on the
Sit on the
tailgate
tailgate.
in your driveway.
Wow,
That'd
She
be
needs
would
one
be
of those
lovely.
That would
Bronco
be good.
2s.
Yeah.
Be
She
better.
needs like a Bronco 2.
Or remember the Subaru Brats that had the seats in the
Oh,
back?
my God.
Good call.
You could just sit in the back on your little seat and recline like
That's
that.
right.
That'd be
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah, I got that
Subaru
minivan. I can
That'd be
open a
hot.
hatch and
Oh,
sit
you
on the
could.
gate.
Yeah,
Sure.
you could, sure.
I sure could.
I do. I appreciate that, Clinton. That'd be hot.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Making it. Anyway, what you been doing,
She
Kat?
seems useful too. She's got a pickup truck.
Oh, she is.
She can help you move.
Yeah. She can
She
haul
sure
anything.
She's a good old bag.
She'll show up.
She's a good old bag. She,
Just a good old bag.
yeah. Never meaning no harm. Beats all you ever saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they were born.
Goodness gracious.
There's a Dukes of Hazzard flashback for you, ladies and gentlemen. My God.
Most of our listeners maybe didn't get it. I don't know.
I'm sure most everybody
Bet they
didn't get
sure
it.
they did not get
No,
that.
I don't know. They might.
Okay,
Maybe.
let's see how that works out.
Give
Well,
them some credit.
give us some feedback. Be
Yeah.
sure to email us if you understand the Dukes of Hazzard reference.
That's right. I feel like Meow Cal knows. And I think
Maybe.
Bridget will know.
Oh, Joe just turned into the chat room.
Hey,
He
Joe.
is going to San Diego tomorrow. Very nicely
How
done.
nice.
Well
I will-
played.
Lucky for San
San
Diego. Good
Diego.
for you.
Yeah,
For
love
real.
San Diego. I haven't been able to go for, it's been about a year and a half. But yeah, I do enjoy San Diego.
Absolutely.
And as beautiful as it is in the summertime, it's even more beautiful in the winter
Yeah.
out there because
It
it's just
is.
a little cooler.
Yeah.
Really nice. Yeah.
Very
I
nice.
love it there.
Big fan.
Again, back to Kat. What you been
That'd
doing?
be great.
Well, let's see. Headline of the week: Fighting with children. I'm apparently the worst
You are.
in the world.
Oh,
It's
the
true.
worst.
You're in the
It's true.
terrible teens now, right?
Yeah.
with
Well,
them?
see, here's what happened.
It's
Okay.
awful.
Sharon and the kids had been gone like all day. I don't remember what day it was.
Here's the way the story
Here's,
goes.
here's
Like
what
how
happened.
connected to her family she is. I don't know what day it was, but they were gone.
Or where they
They
were.
were gone. I went to Flagstaff.
So far, the story is great.
Yeah. Thanks. Real steady and dependable, this story.
Yeah.
In any event, they came home, a little later than usual because I don't know, holiday weekend traffic, and they decided to go to Flagstaff. That was sure.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
That'll take you 6 hours to get home from Flagstaff.
my
It sure will.
God.
Good for you. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay here on the couch and went and got some In-N-Out. Anyway,
Yeah.
so they come home and the older one kind of almost attempts to make some conversation with me and then just decides nope and goes over to the playroom that we have set up for them with video games and whatnot. And so then he started acting really weird, like just closing all of the doors, just there's a pocket door to that hallway, so he came out and shut the pocket door, and so he's barricading himself in. I'm like, huh, weird. I wonder what's going on. I said something to Sharon. I said, what's with the mole person over here?
Right.
She says, oh, probably because we had a big discussion last week about cursing.
Oh.
Yeah, and so he said, well, he's probably in there just
Swearing up a storm.
being an asshole to his friends
Yeah.
on the video games because
Sure,
that's what he does.
Oh.
Yeah, because they'll sit there and just talk shit all afternoon and all right, whatever. And I said, "You think that's it? Well, I'm gonna go investigate." So I go and I stand by the door and listen for a little while, and it's actually awfully quiet, but he's talking to somebody.
Okay.
So I open the door. I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, I gotta go. Bye."
Oh.
Oh, girl.
Oh,
He was
it's
talking
definitely
to a girl.
Ah.
Definitely a girl.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I busted him in that, and I'm like, "Okay, dude, here's the thing. Talk to the girls, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's gonna have to be some curfew on this. There's gonna have to be some not with the closed doors and
Right.
not
Yeah.
late at night.
Yeah.
Reasonable
Sure.
parenting things."
And I'm guessing this is not just typing chat. This is full on video chat, right?
Yeah. He
Yeah.
was on Skype.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but there's plenty of typing chat too,
So
which
it's a
is
whole lot different.
Right,
ridiculous.
but I'm still saying
And-
that there still has to be limitations on the old video
Oh,
chat
yeah.
here.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the whole the whole point was about transparency. You know what I mean? Our philosophy all along has been if you feel like you have to hide something, you're probably not doing
Right.
something you're supposed to
Right.
be doing.
Right.
If you can't do
Right.
it with the door open, then what are you doing? For the most part.
For the most part. Yeah.
Right.
Do you
Sometimes
guys-
close the door.
Do
Yeah,
you remember
that's
the
also fine.
before internet rule? Did any of you know this? Where the parents, it was the door had to be open when you and 1 foot on the ground.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Wait, when you're on the phone?
No, when
No,
when your
if
girlfriend
someone
comes
had-
over.
When you're at
Oh.
company, right?
So company,
Gotcha.
when you have a girl over, then it's door open and 1 foot on the
Yep.
ground.
Okay.
I saw that on the Brady Bunch.
I thought that was an I Love Lucy episode.
Oh, yeah. When
It's
Greg
that
and,
old?
Greg and Marsha?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, actually, in the I Love Lucy, they had separate beds. Well,
That's
and
right.
so did Laura
Robin.
Peachy, Rob and Laura in the Dick Van Dyke Show, because that was the way that.
Because wasn't
So-
it Lucy that had the first, Lucy and Ricky, the first bed together? Or was that Rob and Laura?
I don't recall if it was first story, but if I'm not mistaken,
But
Lucy
it
was the
was
first
also-
pregnancy on TV.
That's right.
But
you're
it was
right.
so those are TV shows, but it was also in movies too. You know. So here's a question sorry, I just want to ask this question. I have always wanted to. I've never.
That's right. This is
had
going
anyone else
exactly how this show
Good.
always goes.
Okay.
From
Yeah.
that chair.
Yeah.
I'm very exactly. I'm very curious about this. So when you watch movies in the 30s and 40s, even into the 50s, the separate bed thing, and then the TV shows.
I think about how nice that would be sometimes.
Oh.
But here's what I want to know. So I don't know that was necessarily reflecting society. That was because the movies were being censored. But were people in real life doing that?
Oh, God,
Or was
no.
everybody in one bed and then you go? Isn't that weird to go to the movies and then see people in separate beds when everybody or nobody was doing that?
I just said, "Oh God, no!" And then I realized that all three of my grandparents, the sets of my
Yeah.
grandparents, all of them. Well, at one point they all slept
Well,
together. I'm
mine
sure.
too.
But as I grew up, every single one of them slept in separate beds.
But like
bed-
later,
and
though.
Different
bedrooms.
rooms.
But not when they were in their
Yeah,
20s.
bedrooms.
Oh, probably not.
I'm just saying when you were
I
like
don't know. I wasn't alive.
Right.
when you were in your 20s or 30s in that era and you went to the movies or watched the TV and you saw that, I wonder if the people thought that was weird.
No,
Like,
because probably their parents were in similar situations. Because there's a practicality to separate sleeping, especially if you
Yeah.
if one person snores loudly or one person sleeps too lightly. You know what I mean?
like
there's
separate rooms.
Sure.
Even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
in those shows, they
Again.
were in the same room.
I
right?
always thought it was I always thought that was normal because that's what my grandparents did. I thought that
Yeah.
I thought my parents were living in sin.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Interesting.
I just thought that was
Get
weird
it.
for
'Cause, yeah,
people at
it's-
home
Yeah.
to be like, well, the whole country's in bed together, but
I don't-
the TV or movie is
Sharon
making
and
it
I
look
like
like we're
timeshare
not.
the bedroom. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like we're on different shifts most of the time. So I'm
That's a sweet way to do
crawling in
that.
while she's crawling
That
out.
might
It's just
make
kind
for
of
a better
timeshare
relationship.
situation.
Oh, I'm gonna bet money
No,
on that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember my mom's parents ever. I mean, I'm sure they when I was really young, but I don't recall them sleeping in the same bed or, at all or the same room because by the time I was old enough to even pay attention to it, Grandma had already moved to the
Yeah.
east end of the house. Grandpa was in the west wing.
My grandparents did that
and
too.
that's how they went the rest of their lives. In fact, they thought it was funny when you're this is probably in the early 80s, maybe late 70s. The three daughters chipped in and bought them an intercom system so they could
love
say
it.
goodnight or talk. If one
love
needed the other, they could hit that annoying beeping sound, whatever that back in the day. Yeah, so that was kind of funny that they had that. But yeah, no, all of my grandparents, none of them slept in the same bed that
No,
I
mine
ever
didn't either.
saw.
Well, they did. Mine did it later when the old age crept in, but when they were still younger and they were in the same room.
Virile.
Oh, Al's parents were always together.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Al's parents always slept. Well,
Yeah.
huh?
That's fantastic.
Wait,
Brady's
he's,
were
he's
first.
saying that the
Oh,
Brady's-
Brady's,
the
were
Brady's
first in
were
bed
first.
I
together.
thought you were
Okay,
referring
well
to your own
done.
parents, Al. I'm sorry, or maybe
Wait.
it's the medication. I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you on
Well done.
medication?
Well
Not
done,
yet.
Val.
I'm,
Thank you.
I'm hopped. I'm
Did
trying
you
to-
take some of Al's pills?
No, didn't even see Al. I just kind of hopped up on coffee, if I can
like
be.
it.
So as you might expect, this particular segment started with the story about the new rules and curfews on phone usage
That's
in my
right,
house.
that's right.
And we went
Continue
to the Brady's
on.
in bed together.
Yeah.
Continue on with how that
Or our
interaction.
grandparents'
Their-
sleeping habits.
Your intervention went with the 13-year-old.
Well, as it turns out, I thought just kind of standard rules that pretty much everybody has. I'm pretty sure. Certain time when all that
But you
cuts
became
off.
the
and
devil.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Oh, it's
Bad.
amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess like worst person ever, worst
Well-
mom
Ever in
ever.
the
Here's
history
what
of
happened.
ever.
So apparently, everyone knew about the girlfriend except for me.
Oh,
Okay.
And I said, all right, well, cool. And so then, like, the conversation devolved into, well, I didn't want anybody to tell you because I'm ashamed of you and I'm embarrassed of you and I don't want people to come over here and I don't want anybody to meet you. And
Wow.
oh.
So,
Ouch.
right.
You got
But,
those on backwards, by the way. There you go.
but he's literally following the angry eldest child of divorce.
Right.
Playbook.
And,
Oh,
Like,
I
totally.
see.
Sure,
He
sure, sure.
is.
You're the whole
He is-
reason they got divorced.
No, no, no.
No.
But
I see
he's
where you're
like
going with that, but no.
clockwork.
Yeah.
He's just angry at the world.
Okay.
And just will be for a good long time, I'm sure. And just kind of always has been.
But
You know what I mean?
and is Dad feeding into that at this point?
So,
Because isn't that kind of how Dad is, or did I misunderstand that?
well, Dad's a douche.
Yeah. Right.
Dad's an
Yeah.
asshole.
Yeah.
Like, just
I
by
didn't want to
nature.
be. I didn't want to just go right
No,
there,
no, no.
But
That's
yeah,
fine.
That's what
We can talk about
yeah,
him.
that's what I thought.
He's an asshole.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just by nature, just if you ever met him, you'd go, ew. I don't want to be near this
Right,
man.
right.
What a douche.
Sure.
So yeah, so just
Does he see
that
the dad
angry-
on regular?
Oh, all the time.
like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, but he's following, especially with me, he's following that playbook to a T. Like, I almost predicted to the day the first time he would tell me I wasn't a real parent or, you're not my real mom. Like, that whole conversation.
You're not
I-
my real mom.
I love that. That cat.
That cat is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Oh my God.
It's less hilarious when a kid
Yeah,
that you
when
take
it's
care of says it
you,
to
yeah.
To your
you.
face.
I can
Yeah.
believe that. I can believe that.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
How
he's-
did that go for you? Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like I brain wise understand what's happening
Of
and know
course,
that
of course,
that
right.
this is just gonna go through.
Okay.
I sat in my driveway and drank a bunch of beer and I coped as you should.
As well, you should.
Yeah.
Yes.
What solves everything? Liquor.
Beer.
Yeah.
Fine.
Sure.
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fair point.
The solution to and the cause of all of life's problems.
of
The
them,
meme mom is
Booze.
the meme that Marnie's talking about is this one where
my
the woman's
God.
telling, "Get off the table," and the cat yells back, "You're not
Yeah,
my real mom."
my real mom.
I
Oh my
love
God,
that.
that cat.
Cracks me up.
That is funny.
I enjoy that.
I mean that. Oh, that cat. That's very.
Well,
good.
I'm glad it's
So that's the highlight of my week.
that's fun.
Yeah, he gets to turn 13
Gets to.
We're
because
going
I'm
with maybe.
I'm gonna
Death.
allow it.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
The end of October. The
Okay.
end of October, he gets to turn 13, and then I feel like probably 5 years of this hell, and then hopefully he'll go off to a nice trade school, or maybe if we're lucky, a college.
Sure.
And I know and
Military school.
But listen, I'm not opposed. I would send
Yeah.
him today.
now this is I think you've talked about this before, and if you don't want to discuss it, completely fine. I
Is this
understand.
bothering you?
No, not really. But you want
Okay.
to.
I didn't know if you have like a
Why don't you
OCD
do
about it.
that? Put that trash can right underneath you there, Dougie.
This ain't Lone Star Steakhouse.
yeah,
Don't throw
no
him on the
shit.
floor.
The peanut shells.
Right. No.
That's right.
Does this kid have a desire to live with dad? Is that off the table? If you threaten that, does he go, "Oh no, no, no," and all of a sudden you're a better person?
No, he's not like rationally thinking right now. Clearly,
Well,
you know what I mean.
because
As no one of
say it
this
again.
age ever is.
Is he
Seventh grade?
13?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in 7th grade.
They don't have a brain.
They don't have a brain.
Like
so,
at all. Aaron will tell you there's no reason. Forgive
Yeah.
me, but as far as interjecting, there's zero reason for there to even be a 7th grade. Like 7th grade should be about teaching life skills
Right.
and like hygiene.
It should be about
and all that kind of
deodorant
stuff.
and
Yeah.
wiping your
Oh,
ass,
right.
and that's all the
Yeah.
7th
We
grade.
don't-
and
we
then
don't need
Axe
classes,
body
yeah.
spray. No.
No, it's a bad.
And more is less. You know, like
Less
just
is more.
less is more.
Less is
rather.
Although
better.
honestly, sometimes the Axe Cloud is
Oh.
preferable
It's
to the
better.
alternative.
Sure. But I mean, it's all that kind of stuff. So
It's
she
parenting
said
on
it
Q Talk
should be-
America.
It totally should be all of 7th grade.
Yes.
Because they're not learning. They're
Axe
not
is disgusting,
retaining.
but it's better than the alternative.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
part of the temper tantrum tirade was about how he couldn't wait until he didn't have to live like this, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, where are you gonna go? He's like, anywhere. I'll live on the street first. And I was like, oh,
Wow.
that's
Okay.
real nice.
Yeah.
Real nice.
Why don't you
Rather be
start by
homeless.
just living in a tent in the backyard for a while
Yeah,
and see how that
right?
goes? Figure out where you're going to go to the
Oh,
restroom and
that's
shower.
fucking smart.
Did you
That's a
remind
good
him
idea.
You're welcome.
that when he
So
does
smart.
that,
That's happening.
there won't be any computers
well
or
it should.
internet or chatting
Yeah,
or
no
anything?
power,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
no
power.
lights, no motor car, not
No-
a single
Make
luxury.
sure that you have
No
a
Skyping with your
different-
girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean the
Yeah.
different passwords.
But all the
for-
Axe
Oh,
body
I
spray
got
you
all
can
the-
have.
I got all the lockdown.
There you go. Well, enjoy that. That'll be fun to see.
Good times. Good times. Sharon will never let it happen.
Oh God, no.
No.
I
But-
think for one night it would be that she.
But I
could
do
be
wanna
for it.
share-
She'd be right there.
Because you said
Should
that
be in the damn tent with him.
Oh God.
you
That's
said that
redundant.
they had taken a trip up north to Flagstaff, and
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
saw this picture yesterday, I think it was yesterday that she posted. Just the serenity of that shot of northern Arizona
It
and
is nice
up in
out
the plains.
there.
That's
Yeah.
just a beautiful picture, and I just love to be there
Yeah.
doing nothing.
It must have been Sunday that they went.
It's very nice.
Because I could have gone, but would have been miserable, so I opted to not.
Yeah.
Well, because they went early Sunday morning, and I work Sunday
right.
night. Yeah,
and
no,
fuck
I
that.
like I
We work Saturday night.
technically could have gone,
Sure.
but would have hated my life,
Yeah.
so I didn't go.
And I don't think you would have really
get it.
enjoyed that ride up and back with that child, I'm going to guess.
No, you know what's really great about car trips with children these days?
Oh, they're occupied with devices.
Yeah.
Oh.
Face on the screen.
sure.
You don't
Gotcha.
hear. You don't hear from them.
Don't have to talk to them. You don't have to play games. You don't have to.
I'm gonna pull this car over.
Yeah.
Don't oversell that parenting
I'm
thing.
really invested in the parent. I'm really winning at parenting this week. Let's have a model
I get
parent.
it. But I
Model
get
parent. Yeah. I'm doing a great job.
I guess.
I'm terrified to call my mom.
Oh.
She likes to say I told you
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
so. Yeah.
Oh, there's that.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'll
though.
talk to
I
Mom
think
at
that-
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I'll talk to her then.
Yeah. Hopefully things will be going better.
No, it's a long drive to California too.
Right?
Thank God for iPads.
Oh, heaven's
Fair
sakes.
point.
Well, my dear Marn, what are you up to,
Yeah.
kiddo?
Yeah, not a lot.
I don't believe that. I think you're doing more than you even need to be.
Did any of the dogs mutiny because you cut off their access to their girlfriend?
No,
All right.
but Patty Hearst is fighting back a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's for real, and the struggle is real.
By the way,
for
Doug,
Patty Hearst.
she has a dog that she calls Patty Hearst.
Well,
'Cause she
actually,
kidnapped
Alan,
the dog.
Alan Clayton called her Patty Hearst.
'Cause she's-
and
Because the
then,
dog was kidnapped.
Hostage.
Hostage.
Yeah, and showed
Is
up
she
with
is she
a
part of the
beret and a
Symbionese-
machine gun.
and the Symbionese
Yeah,
Liberation
she
Army.
did.
Yeah.
She did.
I remember the kidnapping of Patty Hearst.
Oh, I've been
I
What
was
I
really
can
here
tell
for
you is that there was no kidnapping.
Dog napping. I'm sorry.
The
Dog
puppy,
napping.
the puppy showed up in my front yard, and oddly, Mom today said, because I held her for the first 2 days because she was so little, and I thought,
Mom or the dog?
Well, now that's a
Okay.
good point.
Got to clarify.
The dog and hi Aaron, and Mom was like, well, you did hold her for 2 days and not set her. I'm like, but there were the bigger dogs and then the this and whatever. And Mom's like,
Hostage.
and she said, that's what she said. She goes, she was like a hostage. Well, no wonder they started calling her Patty Hearst. They were right. She
Oh,
said,
good.
well,
Your mom's a listener. That's good to know.
bunch of happy horse shit. Is what I
No,
thought.
the headline there was "We were right."
Yeah.
Oh, I buried the lead. I'm
You
sorry.
really did.
Terribly
Yeah, just-
sorry about that. And with that,
Anyway.
I went below the fold.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Bluff. Bottom line up front.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. Nice.
Wow. Hang on a minute. I'll write that
Bull,
down.
bluff.
Bluff.
Bottom line up front. Well, look at that little acronym.
I like it.
It's from all
So-
of my experience here in journalism.
Nice.
You and Buddy Early.
Yeah,
Your book on. Did
yeah.
you get the book on how to
Yeah.
write AP style like he did? You see that
dude.
post?
I did see that post.
No. So what's the deal? Is the
Well,
dog
'cause
wanting to
she's
be held
just-
all the time?
No, she's just angry and mean, and that's Stockholm syndrome. It's not good for her, I guess. And so she's sitting there and around like anyone moves, and it doesn't matter where she is in the house. All of a sudden, you hear.
Oh.
She's gonna turn on you.
Well, you see, I don't know if any of the tens of listeners remember, but you see,
Currently 7.
she, yeah, but there would be ones that'll listen to this. That well, okay. So if you were to look at her, some people say she looks like a chihuahua, whatever, right? Which we don't say out loud, because if you say it out loud.
She might remember her country of origin
well,
and then
you-
really turn against you.
all I'm saying is you don't want to remind her.
It's all coming back to me now.
Oh my God.
Celine
It's all
Dion
coming
will
back to
play.
me now. Look at that.
Have you
man.
touched her like
Oh,
this?
Yeah.
And he hold me like that. It's hard to believe. That
Oh
it's all
boy. And
God. An organic Celine Dion reference.
Oh, no.
Lovely.
well, it's just the idea that she doesn't need to be so grumpy, but she really doesn't need to let that come out, like be shown because she's a Jack Russell. It even says so on all of her paperwork because I forced him to write that, but
Yeah.
it's Jack Russell mix, and she definitely is a Jack Russell, but she definitely like a Chihuahua ran past her and went
Yeah.
like that, and her attitude shows it. She's starting to get a little mouthy at 6. Why now? Why not within that first 48 hours?
Right.
Why couldn't you have done that then?
All those repressed memories are coming back. You watch.
I had refried
The
beans.
trauma.
She
watch.
went, oh no, ole! And then
Don't drive
something.
past a Taco
Yeah,
Bell with that
no. No, we cannot.
Mikasa Yukasa. That's what's going to
Oh,
happen.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're gonna just drop her off in front of a fire station one day and hope that she doesn't
Maybe.
tell your story?
I don't know. I got to do something because she is grumpy as
You
fuck.
should get the rights on the book deal first.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
Well, maybe you should get her laid.
Okay.
Or at least a Skype session.
Is that a. Yeah. I mean, is there. Dogs have needs, Marnie.
I guess.
That's what I'm thinking.
This is taking an uncomfortable turn
Yeah,
for
it
everyone,
is.
I think.
idea. I'm with you completely.
I don't know how the ASPCA thinks about this,
I
but.
don't know. I don't know either, but I don't want to find out.
I don't know that we're
No.
Chihuahua pimps on this show,
I
are
know,
we?
right?
Oh,
Hey, Chihuahua
that's our new show on Q Talk America.
What are you doing tonight?
Chihuahua
I'm
pimps.
pimping
Wait,
out
I'm
my
gonna take a
Wawa.
I'm pimping out my Wawa.
Wait. Wawa?
I got to pimp out the Wawa.
I feel like that means something different than you
Yeah.
think it means.
Oh, I hope so.
I don't know what Wawa means in
Yeah.
Spanish,
I don't
and it's
know.
not water. I'm pretty sure. 'Cause that's, yeah.
Wawa Wawa.
I
No?
don't know about that.
I'm nervous now.
Yeah.
You know, that's a really good name for my mariachi band, though. The
Pimping out my
Pimping
Wawa.
No,
out
the
my-
Chihuahua
Oh,
pimps.
yeah. Nice.
The Chihuahua pimps.
And now for your
and-
mariachi
prefer-
pleasure, the Chihuahua pimps.
And their latest
That's it.
hit, Pimpin' Out My Wawa. That's their,
Oh,
their
so
first
now-
album. from the
I
Chihuahua
like it.
pimps.
That's right.
So
Hashtag,
good.
thanks Obama pimping out my Wawa. All together.
All together.
that's right.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks.
Anyway,
Obama.
aside from her just being a little bitch,
Oh, Bridget,
everything has
there's-
just been fine. You know.
Hi, by the way, Bridget. I know you were in the chat room, but I see her on the YouTube chat room as well. So hi again,
Oh, good.
Bridget.
Hola. Yeah. So really nothing else.
You know,
I don't think so.
did you see the post that I put on your wall today? Have you?
I did,
Did you watch
and
that?
I thought that was hysterical.
Fortune Feemster.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that was
I love her.
hysterical.
Yeah, very funny.
Yeah.
But the whole reference about softball and straight girls are like, oh my God, I played softball in high
Yeah.
school. I was
Totally.
good. What does this mean?
You're a lesbian.
You're gay.
Go get the Subaru.
We're going. It was very funny.
It's a strong rule. I didn't see the thing. I'm gonna go look now.
Oh
It's
my
true, it's
God,
true.
Al.
Oh, I have one at home, and
Wow.
that's the problem.
Wow.
Wow.
His
Yeah.
pain meds kicked
I
in.
think they did. Are you on
Are you-
Percocet? What are you?
Are you drinking wine and taking pain pills?
Maybe nothing wrong
did you
with
get
that.
How else are you
Dilaudid?
gonna wash him down?
Yeah, right. They
Yeah,
said
right. Judy
They said
Garland, your
take
way
it with
through
a
this.
lot of liquids.
Yeah.
Why not?
And they didn't specify booze,
Right.
Metamucil.
They
They
didn't
didn't
say.
say what
Sure.
kind.
Right.
God, everyone's so goddamn
Like-
specific.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that one. So maybe I
Yeah.
should play that. That's just
That was. It
That's
was
pretty
very
funny. We should
funny.
watch it later.
yeah, it's good.
But yeah. that's all.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Oh, and
Oh.
Al, I was going to send you some. Don't know if you remember right now, so I'll still send it. Oh hell no, I forgot.
Oh.
That was a great story.
Yeah, it really was.
Well, it was the.
Was it a baked good
No,
of some
it's a
sort?
play.
Person, place, or thing.
Are we going to a play?
Well, we maybe.
Should we go to a play?
It's the one with the
Sweeney Todd.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Nicely done.
Charades.
I always win
Nicely
musical
done.
charades. I always win
Sweeney
musical
Todd
charades.
is going to be here starting this weekend through
Arizona Broadway Theater?
at Herberger.
Shut up. Who's doing it?
Yep.
Is it
It is.
Herberger?
I have it
Oh,
Oh,
right
is it
here.
the is it the Arizona Theater Company?
Um,
Is it ATC?
ATC. I like your acronym. Yeah.
It
Or VYT.
is
Is it the VYT?
Sweeney-
I don't think
No,
Valley
it's a little
Theaters.
grown up for the
Yeah.
VYT.
And it's featuring Dan Spindle. Whatever
I don't know who that is.
is.
He seems smart.
That name's
Oh, isn't that the guy on the
Dan-
news?
Channel 15.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So this is. I just took a picture of it. It was on News Channel 15 today.
Which is because he's from ABC.
Yep.
So today through
And-
the 16th, let me.
Yep.
I'm gonna pull up my calendar right now.
Yeah, Friday the 7th
Does he spend the entire play reading a teleprompter?
through the 16th. Maybe.
And
No,
we'll be
he
back
doesn't.
right after this.
He's like this. Well, I die. He was very funny, but yeah. So,
All right.
so he dies in it.
Well, that's he's also
so do
friends.
a lot of people.
He's friends with and a coworker of Doug's Obsession, which is Nick Saletti from Channel 15, and my friend Aldo Vasquez, who works for 15.
Right?
Wait, I thought Aldo was. Is that the one you showed me the picture of last week?
I've showed you so many pictures, I don't recall. Aldo works for 15.
not sure.
and-
I thought Aldo worked for ABC
Who
National.
was putting it on?
no, that's
I'll
Gio
find it.
Benitez.
Oh God, that
Yeah,
picture.
Gio,
Good Lord.
Gio Benitez
Okay.
works for ABC National.
Okay. Aldo's
Aldo
local?
Vasquez works for 15 local.
What show? What time is he on?
I don't have any idea. I don't watch 15,
Anyway.
but I follow him on the Facebooks, and
Oh,
every
okay.
time I see him, I get a hug. So
Yeah,
I'm happy about that.
I probably shouldn't talk about my obsession right
No,
now.
that's probably a good idea because the
Yeah.
restraining orders are being
Yeah,
typed up
well,
at you.
and-
Yeah, there's
Well,
that.
I knew that
They could use
that-
the show against me.
Yes.
Kat and Al were both the fans. I didn't
Well,
know
sure.
if you were, but
What's not to
of Sweeney
love?
Todd.
What's not to love?
Yeah.
A little
but-
murder, a little baking, a little
Yeah.
more murder,
Some
a
pies.
little cannibalism.
Well, but Al had such a
Somebody
great
gets a
experience
haircut.
Bring a
in
fork.
New York
There's pie.
with with
Well,
that.
he went to that immersive
That was so
Yeah.
cool.
that he described. Yeah, that seemed really
That was
cool.
amazing, but so you don't get to do that now.
No.
I mean, you could bring a knife, I suppose, but that'd be awkward.
So it's Arizona Broadway Theater, but at the Herberger.
I always thought. I mean, I realized it's not the same one, but when Johnny
looking it
Depp
up.
did the
There you go.
movie, I liked his hair. I thought that was good.
Yeah.
hair. I mean, it was almost Edward Scissorhands' hair,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it was.
Almost the
Great
same guy.
hair, yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're kind of almost the same.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Edward Scissorhands had a great heart, and he just wanted to help everybody.
I think Sweeney Todd wasn't helping people. People were eating. People were surviving.
Pie.
Somebody got a
Anyone?
haircut somewhere, I
Yeah.
think, along the way. I'm not sure.
Took a little too much off the top.
Right.
Way too much.
Sweeney Todd
Anyway,
puns are a
digress.
good time.
That's all.
All right. Well, we move around the table to Mr. Doug Wilkie. Welcome back once again. And
Yes.
it's as if we never said goodbye.
I know.
Now,
Like-
is this Dal? Is that
What?
the?
Oh, now she's going to. Oh,
Oh.
Dal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So last it was
2 weeks ago.
what was it? Dat
You were Dat.
Dat.
Dat
You
or
were
something.
Dat.
Dat.
Yeah.
Darny.
Darny or
Now you're-
or Mug.
Or Mug.
Darny or Mug.
Yeah, that's right.
So
That's a
now
good
I
one.
would be Dal.
Dal.
Or
Dal.
Dal or Val.
Or
Well, because
Val.
of Val.
Yeah.
You know,
There's
not
only-
because of Al.
There's only
No.
one vowel.
Val.
You'd have
Yeah.
to be Dal.
Yeah.
Dal.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like permanent guest host.
Yeah,
or
well, you're a contributor.
contributor.
That's what
I'm
they
a
say
paid
on-
contributor on
no.
MSNBC.
Paid?
Oh no, that's
Paid?
right.
That's a non-paid.
No,
What
that
the
no.
hell?
Calm down.
What the hell?
We're not a
Contributor.
501c3
God damn.
yet.
We're
so.
paying you in pistachios, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I
That's
almost
all
had-
it is.
I almost
I would be happy if
Pistachios.
somebody would also finish off those
These are the
bags.
salt and pepper
Oh,
ones.
Because
like that?
those little bags down the corn nuts.
Al, I'm eating your
somebody needs to
pistachios.
polish that all
Here,
off.
have
'cause
those.
The
those
corn
are-
nuts are an emergency stash. I'll put them in my can.
Well, those have been here for a
You
long
know
time.
what else?
In
You know
God's
what?
name,
I
there
just
are
thought
like
of
8
something.
in here.
What,
They're
Doug?
naked
What?
pistachio. Well, here, I'll just add them to the can.
Thank you for
Thank
my
you.
guest villainous title, which
Yes.
I've always liked.
Well, you demanded it when you
How
got
did
years ago.
the theme music work?
Which part?
Last week, because I sent some funny fucking theme music.
Oh, I don't think we. Wait,
It went wonderfully. Lie.
We
It
play-
went wonderfully.
Just don't, because I'll
Did
listen
anybody
back.
ever watch Melrose Place?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
No.
So you remember when its rating slipped a little bit and Aaron Spelling got Heather Locklear,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because she's not a train wreck
and
now.
she oh my god, well now she is, but I loved her then,
Yeah.
and I still love her,
Yeah.
but I kind of like the train wreck part of it too.
Yeah, yeah. Fair.
But anyway, she came on as a special guest star
Okay.
for only like the 6 episodes. And they gave her that big inset where they do the opening credits.
Yeah.
And then it said, and special guest star Heather Locklear as Amanda
We're
Woodward.
not giving you like a
and
big.
then, well, hang on. And what
It
I
feels
loved
like a
about
lot
that
of
is
production and we
after
ain't got
they
time.
made her a permanent
No.
star,
Mm-hmm.
there's full contract. They never changed that. She
Oh,
was like,
really?
nope. She was like, we're
Always.
keeping that. So
Yeah.
she was always special guest star, and I
Don't
think
change
I
it.
think I do want that. Marnie.
Yeah, I can believe you would. I see that in you. I I do. And well played. Now, is that before or after she got with Jack Wagner?
I think that was Jack Wagner happened while she was on the show.
Yeah.
I think.
And then it became a real nightmare for him.
Oh yeah.
One of my
He's like, all I need is just a little
I
more
never-
space from this con. But she's crazy.
wow.
It's a really
I've
good
always-
song.
Now it's a
I've
musical
always-
show.
I
It's a
love
great
that
song.
song.
I like
Yeah.
when we sing. I like when we sing.
I
live.
never,
Yeah.
I love her,
I
though.
never followed the show, but one of my favorite promotions of the show was there was a poster, and it used to hang at a bar in Tucson. And I'm sure it's been everywhere else, but this was the poster. Mondays are a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh.
I always,
So
I,
good.
I don't remember that.
I love that. That's Heather.
great.
Picture of
So
Heather Locklear.
good.
I thought that was a great promotion
Yeah.
because that was her character, obviously.
Did you ever see SNL? When she guest starred on SNL.
Oh, no.
Oh,
During the heyday, you had to have watched the show, but it was hysterical. They they did the whole
A spoof on-
on
902.
Melrose.
Melrose. I'm sorry.
yeah, and because she, of course, on the show was an advertising executive, and but nobody ever knows it's bullshit. They don't even know what they're doing, and in every scene. She would say, and the girl that played Allison, the dimwit, the girl that played her just played her so broadly, and in every time she'd start a line, she'd say, and whatever she said, and then she'd say, and I'm an advertising executive, and she just kept saying it over and over and over again in her tight skirt,
Sure.
and it was
Yep.
hysterical. I'm gonna YouTube that one again.
There was wasn't Andrew Shue on that?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
He was hot.
very.
Yeah, he was real cute.
Brother of Elizabeth Shue.
That's correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
didn't do any acting after that. He's like a soccer coach,
He's a cutie.
soccer player,
Yeah.
soccer player. Yeah, he
Yeah.
is cute.
I actually was going to look up because I don't recall.
I don't remember
He was
what
cute.
else he was in. Like he was in just like 80s stuff.
So-
Not much.
So there was Brooke Langdon, Heather Locklear, Courtney Thorne Smith was in it,
Yeah.
Alyssa
Yeah.
Milano, Andrew Shue,
Alyssa Milano?
Alyssa Milano.
Grant show, hot.
Josie Bissett, Marcia Cross, Grant Snow, Laura Layton. Oh, Lisa Rinna.
Yeah,
I
love
forgot.
her.
God damn it, this cast is ginormous.
And Laura Layton, gorgeous.
Jack Wagner, you
Al knows
mentioned.
that.
Do I know
Thomas
who that is?
Thomas
Laura Layton?
Calabro.
Red hair. Thomas Calabro, yeah.
Calabro, okay.
Hot.
Doug Savant, Amy Locane.
He played
Oh
the
my
gay
God,
guy.
Doug Savant.
Savant was the gay
So-
guy.
Yeah, and so
Kelly,
not attractive.
Kelly Rutherford, Rob Estes,
Oh,
Kristen
Rob
Davis,
Estes. Yeah, Kristen
Oh
Davis.
yeah, Rob Estes.
Jamie
Yes,
Jamie Luner, David Charvet.
Charvet,
He
another-
looks cute.
Yeah, he was on Baywatch.
I don't know Lyndon Ashby. I don't know him.
Oh,
Denise
I'm so
Richards.
enjoying you.
Denise Richards. Now, what?
Oh,
She
right,
married to
right.
John Stamos.
Yes.
Wrong?
No.
Who did Denise
No.
Richards
No.
marry?
Denise Richards
No,
married drummer
uh,
Tommy Lee, same as Heather Locklear.
And
Wow.
No.
Oh no, Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
thank you.
My
Sorry.
goodness.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
was
tuned
like,
out
wait
for
a
just a
minute.
minute and I gotta Google all kinds of shit.
Vanessa A. Williams
Uh-huh.
was in. They're not Vanessa Williams that we all call.
I don't
Patrick
know them.
Muldoon, John Newton, and John Enos III. Whoever else those.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh.
92 to 99.
Yep.
Oh, the good old days.
Wow.
Yeah, I never did get into that show.
I was
just scared to
I
be
wasn't into
fun.
that. I wasn't into 90210.
Oh, it was just
any
a
of those.
terrible show, and I
No,
loved every
and then
minute
I
of it.
got because Seidel came down in the early '90s and was my best friend Lisa from Minnesota. She came down and stayed for 6 months, a year or something. I don't even remember now, but it was
It's
a
a
long
big
time.
difference between those two numbers, Mark.
No, but it was a long time. She was here.
One's
and,
double.
Yeah,
100% more.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
it was about a year,
Okay.
give or take 6 months.
Good thinking. Good
And,
thinking.
11, 12 months or 6 months.
whatever, something.
220, 221, whatever.
I was, told
Whatever it
there,
takes.
I was told there'd be no math. And she just was there. I'd wake up, there she is,
Yeah.
whatever, you know. But she was Seinfeld, which I wasn't.
Yeah, I like Seinfeld.
Not a real big fan, but she was totally into that. 90210. Melrose Place. I mean, it was like
Thursday
the-
night. Wasn't it Thursday night?
I think so. Like all kinds of those shows. Like she just sat there and watched it.
Wednesday. night.
I did not get into these, right?
Okay.
And then, but because they were on, they're on in the background, and then all of a sudden you find yourself like, well, why did Dylan say that from 90210? Like all of a sudden you're invested, but not.
And were you one of those people that started asking questions about, well, wait a minute, why did he just show up again? Because I would have slapped you and been like, fucking watch the
Totally.
show. I'm not
Either
explaining
sit
it.
down or
Next
no.
thing, the whole entire
Yeah,
history of the
yeah,
show.
yeah,
too.
No,
right.
I asked her beforehand. Like I was like, here's the deal. If I'm gonna sit down and watch this shit, you got to catch me up a little bit. I mean, like I have to
Who
know.
are these people?
Right. And all I knew was that Brandon and Brandon and
Brandon and Luke.
nope,
Kelly.
nope,
Oh,
nope.
Brandon and Brenda were the Walsh
Brenda.
twins.
Then they were from Minnesota. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
That's all I really cared
And they
about.
were
It
said
really
Beverly
isn't that
Hills.
all that mattered.
I thought so.
yeah.
I thought that was what made the show, so good.
Interesting.
But yeah. But then what pissed me off was that she leaves Seidel, right?
Yeah.
She leaves. She goes back to Minnesota.
Cat. I have that one.
And
I have that story.
Yeah.
do you know what she did? Not a best friend. Not a best friend. She leaves me kind of hanging, right? So I don't know. And then the show kind of goes off the air. So then what happens? Goes to cable, right? Right? Like later on,
Yeah.
you can see it. So I
Syndication,
start,
right?
right. So I start watching it. You know what they do then? They don't put them in order.
Oh, no.
Oh,
There has to
for
be a
real?
rule about that.
I think so as well, but there's not.
God, no.
So I'm sitting here, and I'm like watching, and I'm into it, which really frightened the fuck out of me, that I had gotten so invested in it, and all of a sudden, that's Friday afternoon, and then Monday, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How did they just aged it? Now there's
No,
a peach
that's
pit
not okay.
and
No,
there's
no,
a
no,
dance
no.
club now, and
Oh, the Peach Pit. I forgot about the Peach Pit.
I mean for real.
It used to be a diner, and then it was
Yeah.
a bar when they were old enough to drink. That's
Totally.
my
Alice-
dream
Wait, is
life.
that Saved by the Bell?
No, close.
Oh.
Same storyline.
Yep.
Different 40-year-old teenagers.
Al is in the chat room. For those of you who don't realize, Al is off tonight.
Laser focused on that heroin epidemic.
Al says, I blame 90210 for the heroin epidemic.
Yes.
He's
They
got his
made
finger
such
on
a
the
big,
pulse.
hairy deal about having a cocktail in high school. People then turned to heroin.
Right.
Yeah, but Saved by the Bell and the caffeine pills
Oh,
predated
oh.
that.
Oh, right.
And
Yes.
really, with
Wait,
our laser
when
focus,
was it?
we do
Was-
know
Who was that freaked out?
that was
The one, a stripper.
Elizabeth, right?
Yeah.
Is her name
Berkeley.
Elizabeth Berkeley?
Jesse Spano. Yeah.
Well, Jessie was her name on the show, but
know.
is it Elizabeth Berkeley? Is that the actress?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought of
So,
another cast member on
Jesse Spano went into like,
See, that's the first thing
Full
that comes up
fucking-
when you type Jesse Spano
Yeah.
into Google. Jesse Spano, caffeine.
yeah.
Good.
Kat, you
gosh.
said another show with
I'm
40-year-old
so
actors
excited.
on 90210. Gabrielle Carteris was like, what was she like 32
31,
when she was
32, yeah.
playing an 18-year-old?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. And then
Wow.
the show's on for 10 years,
Yeah.
or so. So she's
not
like,
aging.
she left the show. She's like 42.
4 children later.
Well, and they had to get out before HD came along
Right,
because that wasn't
exactly.
going to work.
And in the beginning, it was a little ridiculous, you could tell. But as she's aging, and they're really
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
it got worse and worse. Like she started to look like their mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Big
They've
time.
got her taped back
Yeah,
and
right?
pulled on. Yeah. There's that.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic though. Yeah.
Of course.
Anyway. Still in therapy because I still have no idea
how it turned out.
how it turned out. I know that Dylan blew something up, like his dad. I don't know. There's something.
Oh, that was a really cool episode too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I got no clue. I have
I
no
like
idea
when they
about
blow
any of this.
stuff up.
I just saw him walking away crying, and then a car blows up, and then it was the next day, and they were
And he
the
had
first day
really,
of school.
really great hair there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, there is.
I'm
there,
all about Dylan's hair.
There's a.
Oh, yeah.
You look back on a lot of those shows, and there was some great hair in
Yeah.
some of
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
for sure.
I still
Luke
kind of want to
Perry, yeah.
recreate it sometimes.
Oh, I encourage you to do that.
Should I get some Brandon Walsh hair? Maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Huh.
I could see that.
Yeah.
There's
know.
that.
Hmm. I could see you working out. Yeah. How about you, fine sir?
Clearly, I'm not going to work out, but I'm going to have great hair.
Oh
Yeah.
God, no.
Yeah.
There's no workout. Huh? What?
No.
You've just been, working and at the Stacy's and enjoying that little deal, and it's, they finally have got to the point where
Who blew up Walnut Grove?
I love this.
on
Sorry.
Little House on the
sorry.
Prairie.
I don't remember that.
Well, it was
blowing
that little
up.
bitch blonde gal,
Nelly.
Nelly?
Nellie. I'm sure she did.
You know she
Nelly.
did. Actually, it was probably Willie.
Who knows?
This bitch.
This
Just-
bitch.
This bitch.
That's especially
You know
funny to
what
me because I'm
was?
using that hashtag.
It was
now.
Obama.
That actress that played
It's
Nellie.
Obama.
Thanks so much.
I don't
Allison
rec-
Arngrim.
Alice,
Yeah,
yeah.
Elliot.
Friend of the gays.
Oh, huge fan of the gays. Back in the
Really?
90s, she used to pop into Winks all
Oh,
the
yeah.
time with whatever friend she had locally. I don't remember which one it
So
was.
cool.
But she would just be there all of a sudden. You just look up and there she was.
You're kidding.
Uh-huh.
Never when I was there.
But I didn't really give a shit because I didn't watch Little House on the Prairie.
Oh
so
my God,
she
we were
meant nothing to
glued
me.
To that show.
She meant nothing to me like that. But yeah,
Oh my God, we were glued to that when I was growing up.
Oh, me too.
and you would have thought I would have been being
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the Midwest, but no, because to me it was all bullshit, and I couldn't get on the.
Yeah, but
the-
they made too big of a deal
too
about
much of
Pa.
the Jesus
The
train
prairie
with Michael Landon.
Jesus,
Though I
yeah.
enjoyed Michael Landon, but everything he did was
I
like,
love the Touch by an Angel. I'm not gonna lie.
well, that wasn't him. Wasn't Touched by an Angel?
No, it was him.
I thought that was Della Reese.
Well, it was after.
Oh no, he
but-
was. Oh no,
No.
Heaven.
Yeah, it was.
Heaven. What was
yes,
that?
with the big other guy? It was
I'll
not.
look it up.
the big other guy from Little
I
House
can't-
on the
my
Prairie.
computer
Now
does
that you
not
say
respond
that.
to religious queries, and so I just literally frozen.
No, it was
No, Highway to Heaven.
You're right.
Highway to Heaven.
I got it.
Thank you very
Good
much.
call.
I got it.
You're
I
very welcome.
apologize.
Della
I
Reese is
apologize.
in
And
the other
part of the reason I knew that was
Yeah.
because my mom's mother used to watch that
Yeah.
when she couldn't find Murder She Wrote.
Oh my god! I was just gonna say after Murder She Wrote. Oh my god.
That's fantastic.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
Highway to
Jessica
Heaven.
Fletcher.
Jessica Fletcher. Still not dead.
Not dead.
And
I know.
the
And you
bane
think-
of Dion Brown's
Yeah.
existence. God, he hates her.
Oh,
he-
I
I
like
think
her.
that's hysterical.
I think it's funny too.
yeah.
But,
I
yeah.
love the shit you give him about it.
Well, and then again, like somebody will die that he's like, God, take Angela
Take her.
Lansbury, not whoever just died. He's always that way. So anywho, it's just been enjoying the weather, making changes. The crew it's kind of funny when you do something or you work on things around people, and at first they're like, well, we better let blah 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 do this, or so and so needs to come in and check this, and all of a sudden they realize, no, you can do just
Yeah.
about everything. So all of a sudden they're like, no, just do it. Just
Yeah.
Sure.
you have free reign at this point now. So fixing stuff, which that's fun. I have a project like every day. I have a new project. Like yesterday, I fixed the sign in the front of Stacy's, which was ridiculous. How we've been looking at a sign that was poorly, like half lit for like 6 months, and we're all frustrated.
no.
But everybody had made out this project to be like an act of Congress, like it's
Right.
a huge deal, and all these things, everything has to go on. So I just took the fucking thing apart, and I'm like, oh, there's a wire loose. I swear to God.
That's all it was.
Swear to God. Clean some dirt out of it.
Yeah.
There was literally two wires that were wire nutted together that had come loose, and I did that, and the whole fucking thing lit up. I'm like, well, look at me. Look at that. So tomorrow I've got to get
Well
on
done.
a ladder and do. Oh, good night, Al. Night.
I
I
don't-
say my mom said good night. I was like, oh, good night to Al.
Good night, sir or ma'am.
So however you identify.
However you self
So tomorrow I get to be on a very,
glad everything
very
went well,
high
sweetheart.
ladder in the very top of the ceiling of Stacy's and move a light off the dance floor, which will be fun. So that'll be good. So if we don't have
Very
if
exciting.
we don't have a show next week, you'll know that I fell off of a ladder, and maybe I can't make it to the studio.
What if we move the studio to the kitchen? Would
And
that help?
that's one chair I won't be in next week.
Nobody will ever be in
Because
this
I don't
chair
know
because
how to
nobody
do
else
it. Yeah.
knows how to fly this
I'll
plane.
bet I can.
And there are
I'll
several
bet I
days
can
where I
wing
don't
it.
know how to fly this
Right.
plane either.
Right.
I feel
Absolutely.
confident I could do it.
With a little
Yeah.
with a little quick lesson, I'm pretty sure you could pull it off, Kat.
I think
so.
that's fantastic. Aaron says that he thought it was funny that every time they had a picture of Minnesota, it was always snowing, no matter what time of year it was.
Right,
True.
always. Because it's
And by
always
the way,
snowing there.
that was for 90210 and Little House on the Prairie. It was
Yeah.
true. No, I'm just kidding. Little House on the Prairie wasn't that way.
I don't even know. Where was Little House supposed to be set? Where were
On the prairie.
On the
I know
prairie.
that, but where the fuck was the prairie?
Weren't they in like
Minnesota.
Nebraska or something?
No, they were in Minnesota.
Were they really?
Oh,
Really?
Little House in the Big Woods.
yep.
That was the first one.
Huh.
That's true.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Little House St. Paul?
Sleepy Eye.
No, they would go in Mankato. Oh my God,
Yeah,
it's coming
they'd go
back
to
to me.
Mankato.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
That's oh my God.
Mankato
Why did I
was
know
the big
that?
place, and Sleepy
And
Eye.
Saint wasn't it Saint something they would go to? Was the other big one because Pa would go in on that.
That's where they found Albert.
And now the big letdown is that
Actually,
all
that
of
was
that
in
was
Sleepy
shot
Eye.
in the mountains of Malibu in California.
Right.
Just like MASH. When I learned, because it's funny.
You were so sad.
All these years, I never
That's
really
funny.
thought about the fact that there was a set somewhere. There was an outdoor set that they used, and I never thought of it until I Googled it and figured out you can actually walk to it. Parts of it's still there, yada yada.
Oh, really?
And now I really watch when I see reruns. I watch. Okay, that was shot inside. This is outside. Oh, that's actually on the set in Malibu.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, but now it kind of ruins it for me because I thought they were in Korea. Like I wanted to believe
Yeah.
that they were in Korea,
Right.
Yep.
but it didn't work out too well for me.
That's sad.
Yeah, that's sad. That's really
When your
sad.
Sorry,
when your
sorry.
dreams get crushed.
Oh my God, yes.
You know, it also is really kind of startling because you know that you watch too much TV, movies to a point, but mainly TV when you can be like, that's the house from this show.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Or
Yeah. The way when they recycle.
the
Right.
the YouTube, that's a
All the
rabbit
time.
hole. If you get on the backlot set from back
Yeah.
when Bewitched
Uh-huh.
and all that, they show you. There's a video that shows you all the houses on whatever street they named it in whatever show, but at different angles. They'll show you. There's one video that I watched that showed it's I don't know. There's like 100 movies.
Yeah,
TV shows that are all
exactly.
shot, but at different angles, and they'll show you each time in the shot where is Samantha Stevens' house. Like
Yeah.
it's there, it's there, it's there, it's
Oh.
there. Like it's in all the shots. It's
Okay.
really interesting to see how they
A
just a
couple
simple
of ye-
angle.
A couple of years ago,
Wow.
I saw on Facebook someone did, I think it was cracked.com, one of those sites, did here's the 12 things that you see in every movie over and over
But
and
you
over
don't
again.
realize it.
Yeah, and they showed one is the black. It's like a black and white floor, and it's in some building in like Philadelphia, and they always use it. And then they said the restaurant that's used in every romantic comedy ever, when they always are sitting having a date, and they show it, and then they show like all the scenes, and you're like, that really is in every movie. And there's like just these, and I don't know if there's accessibility or there's some reason why they're easy to use, but they just show up everywhere.
Everywhere.
And once you see it, then you're like, oh wow.
One of the rabbit holes, and Aaron from LA will appreciate this because I'm going to make a Star Trek reference. There is on the back. I was watching something with in reference to the Andy Griffith Show, where the courthouse and all the stuff is in Mayberry, like the main street in Mayberry where the stores and everything are. There was a episode of Star Trek where I don't recall, and I know Aaron will know, where they go to whatever planet or city, wherever they were, and it was all just a ghost town, but they show it, and they're walking
Mayberry.
down the street of Mayberry, and they show you, like, this building is a little altered, but that's the courthouse.
Right.
This would be the store.
The jail.
The barber shop, like
Yeah.
where all of it was, but from a different angle.
Floyd's barber
It's-
shop.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
Floyd.
it just looked completely different.
That's
yeah.
wild.
Yeah,
That is wild. What is happening? The horse from the Brady Bunch?
Well, the horse from the Beatty Bunch. I don't recall. I
There's a
didn't
horse
watch.
statue out in front of that house.
Ah, well done.
Aaron knows a
Yeah,
lot about
but is there
TV.
now?
Oh yeah, amazing.
Now that HGTV's taken over.
Yeah. Or no. I'm sorry. It was Sans horse when it was unfairly stolen from Lance Bass by HGTV.
Oh, yes.
I'm Team Lance in this.
Oh,
Yes.
you are
Yeah.
Team
Team
Lance.
Lance.
That's all right.
Come on, huh?
That's all right.
Me too.
Lance Bass wanted to buy
I'm
the
with
house,
Kat
and
on that
HGTV
one.
came in
Yeah.
and said, "We'll give you
didn't know
more
that.
money than him, no matter what he offers."
So is the
Oh.
big
Yeah.
thing going to be that are they going to reconcile and he'll be like on the
I don't-
HGTV show?
I'm not that invested.
Wow.
Wow.
She's playing shallow
Yeah.
on this
Okay.
team. I can tell you that right
Yeah,
now.
no
That's true.
kidding.
Yeah, I'm a
She's
fair,
like,
fair weather
well-
friend. Ask my friends.
It's true.
See,
Wow. Oh,
no, they're gonna try and remodel it to make it mimic the TV house.
What do
Yeah.
you mean? Try to remodel it? Why? Of course they can.
We're gonna see how. Yeah.
Well, but it's a split, as Al points out.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, that's right.
It's
Okay.
a split entry house.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
There's no place for that staircase. There's no place for that whole fucking second floor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But they can build on. They're magical
Yeah.
And the
people.
kitchen and the den. Where are they gonna put that?
Oh.
It's the magic of
Not to
Den.
television.
mention, Mike's office is in the neighbor's freaking yard.
Oh, that's true.
I thought that
he doesn't have a den.
I thought that
I know
that
too
was,
much about the Brady house.
I thought that was the den.
No, because you only watch it
office.
looking. I always assume that I'm watching with the front of the house cut off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're in the living room. There's the staircase.
Yeah.
Right. To the left is the kitchen, and then the den is past that, and then out the sliding window where you get hit in the face with the
Oh,
football.
I thought
Yeah.
the den
Right.
was off the living room.
So then
I
off
did
the living
that-
room is Mike's office.
No,
Up
that's
to the
okay.
back and
I'm
to
sorry.
the right,
That's
where
what I was thinking of.
where Dr. Huxtable's office also was, because it was the same fucking house. Think about it a minute.
Wow.
Same house.
I
No,
did
it's
not
not.
know that.
Cosby living room, staircase going that way, Dad's office that way, kitchen right there. Same house.
Well, 100 sitcoms use that same floor
But
plan,
I mean,
Same house.
but the stairway
I've
and the
decided.
stairway
it was
is
covered.
very
and
different. Yeah,
it was-
there's-
yeah.
Same. Went this way.
they didn't have Alice,
They did not.
not on the
Or
Cosby.
Sam
No,
the
that's
Butcher.
Sam the Butcher, who was also on.
He,
the,
he got it
a
on
lot of
with
shows.
Alice.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't want to go into
Hey,
that.
you know
Wow,
what?
for real.
Did Sam the Butcher have shaved ham?
He had shaved out.
That's what you missed last
Yeah,
week, Marnie.
you did. You missed a hell of a discussion about shaved ham.
Shaved ham.
You should listen back.
Sir.
And you can imagine where that went
I'm gonna,
in about
I'm gonna say you missed
5
it as a
minutes.
stretch. It happened without you. I don't know
that
that you
could be
missed
true.
anything.
Happened without
I
you.
feel that that's true. Thank you.
Did you miss it?
Yeah.
Did it happen? Yes.
Yes.
Were you
It-
here?
it
No.
did. No.
Did you miss it?
Not really.
See?
I always tell people when they say, "Oh, you missed so and so," I'm like, "No, missing means you wanted to be there for it." Oh, you just missed blah blah blah's performance. No, I'm good.
Didn't miss it at all.
I'm good. Thank you very much. We'll be moving on now. And speaking of moving on,
Segue.
we're gonna try this. See how it works.
Obsession. Are you obsessed? Is it keeping you up at night? Do you find yourself constantly making references only to be met with blank stares? Obsession. This segment is for you. Obsession. Whether it's musicals, mowers, Motown, Subarus, or Sondheim, it's time to share your obsession. Obsession. With the show with Clayton McKee.
And the mic's back on. I'm terribly sorry. I don't know if anybody has an obsession, but I thought we'd give it a shot and see if anybody had anything.
I actually do. And
Go
it's,
for it.
It's my next phone.
Oh,
Because,
okay.
as longtime listeners might remember, that my favorite day in the world is New Phone Day. And I'm well past due for no New Phone Day, but it's close enough to the release of this year's new devices that I feel the need to wait. So in
Okay.
the meantime, my current device no longer operates as a phone because it crashes every time I receive a phone call.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I spend too many hours to count, obsessively like searching the internet, going, when are they gonna announce the new phones? When can I pre-order? When can I do this? Because I'm hoping for a Pixel 3. I'm gonna wait and see what everybody announces.
I don't even know what that means.
Pixel's a Google phone, right?
It is the Google phone,
okay,
yeah. So
thank
it's
you. I was like,
it's
oh.
theoretically the purest version of Android that you can get because the phone is produced by Google,
Okay.
as is the operating system.
Okay.
It's basically like you guys in the iPhone.
Yeah.
Apple makes it all, and it's supposed to work as optimally as designed.
Okay.
Whereas when you buy an Android phone, the maker has taken the Android base from Google and slapped all of their
Right.
crap on top of it. They put their Samsung Fit apps and all of their shit.
This is pure.
Sounds lovely.
It, I really have a way of saying
Yeah.
things.
Way with words.
Yes,
Makes
you
it
do.
sound wonderful.
Yeah, it does. I like it.
Yeah, in fact, right now I'm looking for, because I saw a headline and then I lost it again, saying that they were gonna discount the Pixel 2s. I don't know.
Of course, in the
phone.
fall of most years, Apple comes out with new stuff, and I know there's a new iOS coming out. I don't know about new phones necessarily, but I'm in hopes that there is a new iWatch coming out. Only because
think there is.
Only because Bootsy has already told me multiple times because he'll be getting the new watch because he not only drinks the Kool-Aid,
Yeah.
he mixes it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I get his old watch.
Oh, very
He's
nice.
just going to give me that watch, which I'm
That's very
fine.
fun.
Because again, like I've said 100 times, I can't justify the cost of that watch for how it would benefit my life.
Right.
But he swears that it's almost life changing.
change your life.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Nice.
Otherwise, whatever. So we'll see. But
And
yeah,
now you don't
Well,
have to justify it.
apparently-
right. So it'll be a gift with friendship. So I'm not mad about that.
Apparently, on that new Apple Watch 4, the leaked photos and unauthorized information that's out there on the internet now says
Anonymous sources.
anonymous sources, sources close to the subject.
Speaking on anonymity.
It will have the all-new edge-to-edge display.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
They've dramatically reduced the size of the bezel or bezel, however you self-identify.
I like the bezel.
Just like the
Bezel, I mean.
just
Bezel.
like the iPhone X. In addition, the face of the new Apple Watch offers way more information than the current face can boast of. Way more information.
How much more information can you possibly absorb?
Here's what the watch is one thing that I cannot find a reason why I need it.
That's what my same
I'm
justification.
really
Right.
good at finding a reason why I need
Right.
whatever cool gadget it is.
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
really good at that.
You are a gadget girl.
I have convinced myself that I need an internet connected refrigerator because I don't know why, but I feel like
Sure,
I need
'cause
it.
they made it.
I feel like it's
Right.
gonna make my life better, and I have told Sharon 100 times why we need it. She's told me 101 times no. But the watch, I can't figure out why. I'm still wearing
That's-
Do you
battery
watch
operated
Silicon
analog. I don't even
Valley?
have a digital watch. I did for a little while. It was
Did
funny
you see
for
the
like
episode with the internet phone? I mean the internet refrigerators
no.
with the TVs in them. Oh, it's hilarious. They found a way to put porn on them, and then they went to all and everyone. It was like a hacking job, and so
Smart.
all of them in the country that the people
Smart.
had, there was porn on their refrigerator.
Because that's the first thing that you do with anything with
Sure.
a screen, really. Like,
Well, it's always
what does
you
porn
gotta
look like
find
on this?
exactly.
Yeah. So there it is. My
There you go.
obsession. Martin?
Okay, so I just had to answer a quick survey in order to see the article.
Oh.
I'm not
What
sure
kind
what
of
I'm
hostage
not.
taking is going on that
I'm
And,
not
website?
sure
and
what
which
I-
ad had you seen recently?
I honest to God didn't. I don't even know what I answered. It was about grocery shopping.
Good job.
Um,
Mayonnaise.
so my obviously with what I have on, my
Yeah.
obsession is the fact that
Red
the
t-shirts.
Invest for Ed was knocked off the ballot along with the Dirty Money initiative, which
Oh, they knocked that one off too? I didn't see
thank
that.
you, Koch brothers. Yeah, both of them.
I read a whole
Same
long
day, same
thing
time.
about the mathematical errors on the Red for Ed bill.
the-
Why did they knock the dark money off?
That part I can't
You don't
completely
know?
answer.
Okay.
There was I saw the reason, but this one kind of overtook all of that.
Sure.
And what it came down to, because you can see the numbers or you can do whatever, but it was one word.
Yeah.
and that's what got it knocked off the
So
ballot.
like a technicality,
Right,
basically.
Well,
basically.
but
but
one
the-
word matters when
it
you're talking
does.
about billions of dollars in taxes. One word matters.
It was about the fact that it was, and granted, I'm not. That's part of the obsession. Like,
yeah.
I'm not good with math, and I don't know how. I wouldn't even know how to look at those numbers or how to do whatever. I just know that it was infuriating. That it was one word that got past someone, so that this thing did get repealed, and it was percentage.
Yeah, it was. It had
Percentages.
to do with moving tax brackets.
Mm-hmm.
So they were gonna set up taxation based on income, like we do.
250,000.
And so what the bill didn't do, and the reasoning that they gave for kicking it off of the ballot this year, is it didn't allow for inflation. Okay, so say the cutoff is $100,000 a year before you move into the next tax bracket. So if Sharon and I each make $45,000 a year, in 5 years' time, when we receive raises for inflation, you know what I mean? Like when
Right.
inflation happens,
Right.
we're going to bump into the next tax bracket accidentally, and the bill didn't really account for any of that.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, yeah. Can't
Yeah.
they just fix it though?
Well, they can, but they got to try again in 2 years.
Okay.
Uh,
Not in real time.
And
There were a lot
I'm-
of a lot of jokes online about Arizona education. And
Yeah. Or of course.
Exactly.
Right.
oh,
You know,
sure.
Yeah.
we're,
Exactly.
we're the people that wrote this bill,
Yeah.
Yeah.
educated here.
yeah,
Yeah.
and if they were, fucking give them the money, like to make it better,
Yeah.
right?
But
Wow.
but those details matter.
They do.
You know what I mean?
and,
They matter to a lot of people.
and not saying that they don't. My fear, my
It's frustrating.
my personal frustration was the fact that it did get past how many people.
Yeah.
That here all these people worked
Yeah.
so hard, and it happened. I mean, shit happens. One word, right?
That's the way it goes.
And a really big thing that Erin was so proud to be a part of, and I was proud to be a part of. I mean, I was notarizing.
She wasn't a proofreader.
Right. And she would have been
not.
great with that. But
Awkward.
like I was notarizing all of Shapira's, the signatures that were coming in, and so I was a part of it too, and it was really cool to be able to help with that. And seeing the amount of red and the amount of people converging onto the state capitol.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
Amazing. Really amazing. But then to see that just kind of dissipate and just kind of like, well, okay.
It's like a firework.
Yeah.
Boom, done.
Oh.
Oh, it's over.
Yeah.
Way to go, Katy
Yeah.
Perry.
Yeah. Yeah.
That wasn't an intentional Katy Perry.
But yeah,
reference.
so that's my obsession.
So
And
it was left shark. Yes.
so
All right.
yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Mr. Wilkie, you got anything?
Mine's a minor one, but I'm very.
Nothing on this network
Oh,
is minor.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Like no questions are
My
stupid.
my
There's a lot of stupid questions. I
Yeah.
beg to differ, sir.
We don't want you to feel that way though.
My obsession is the new Sprouts at 7th Avenue.
No.
And Indian School.
I forgot
Sprouts
that
is
was
a
there. I should've
local
gone there.
grocery store for those of
Yeah.
you who are not familiar with the name.
And the brand new store is absolutely beautiful. Have you gone yet?
I have
No,
not been.
I have
Okay,
not.
you would love it. It's beautiful.
I would. Wow.
It's big, like bigger than the other Sprouts that I've
Chock
seen.
full of granola.
Oh, and maybe
but you
chalk.
know, it's like they.
Is chalk good for,
It's just when you
for
see,
the
like-
digestion?
Yes.
Then yes.
I forget about how brand new things. They're just everything's spotless, right? It's just beautiful in there. But it's like got kind of a little like Whole Foods kind of upgrade. It feels like
Okay.
in there. They
'Cause
have
they're
the
very similar.
whole yeah, but yeah, they are, and they even more similar now. When you go to this one, it really feels that way. It's just and it's really impressive. So I like
the
it.
only connection I have at this point, and it's not really even a connection, I was happy to see with regards to Sprouts, is a friend of mine who I've known for many years, who is part of the deaf community. He got hired on there, and he does stalking and so forth, and he's
love it.
super. I was so thrilled to see that
That is great.
He interviewed for the job, and when, his post about I got the job, and now he's working, and
Oh, very cool.
he's been taking pictures of whatever shelves, and
Yeah.
he does stuff. He's so excited to be
that's so
involved in this
cool.
new beautiful
That makes
store.
me love them even more.
And he's doing what I don't know what all his job entails, but it was exciting to see him. And I don't know what he did before. I have no idea,
Yeah.
but the whole thing of stores opening, they're hiring, I'm going to interview. He got help with a translator or interpreter, excuse me, to get that all done. I just thought it was great to see the whole progress of the story. Now he's an employed person there.
I love that.
I just thought that was cool. But no, I have not been yet.
Everyone there is so nice and friendly, so it doesn't surprise me at all that they would do something cool like
and
that.
that entire complex, the makeover.
It looks great.
It doesn't look like the same complex at all.
No, it does not.
There's
a weird thing
Well,
that
it couldn't
you
have
would,
gotten much worse.
God no.
there's a weird poor planning thing on when you pull in the parking lot, the way it's set up.
Weird.
Not good.
Well, does it depend on which entry you take? Because I'm going to guess it was probably positioned correctly for one entry and nobody thought about the other ones.
Well, and with Starbucks
kind of.
and the whole thing, it's very.
You make this right in, and then you have to, if you're gonna turn right to, it's like a real hard right, and it's real thin, and then the car's coming at you. It's three times that I've gone, it's weird. You'll see when you go with your big car.
I'm
Oh.
rude. Like I have a big car. I don't have a big car.
Fuck it, I'm
think that's
taking the
pretty
van.
big.
I'm going
Yes,
tonight.
take the van over
Taking
there.
the I could take the van anywhere.
You think the Explorer's big?
I do.
Park that bitch
Huh.
on a postage
It's not?
stamp.
I don't think it's big.
Oh,
My
okay.
78 Lincoln Town Car.
That was big.
She was 20 feet
That
tip to
is-
tip. She was a big car.
I
She was
stand
bigger than the ski boat we
corrected.
had as a kid.
Yeah,
That car.
That
That
was
was
only
a
18
big car.
feet.
Yeah.
but
You had a ski boat that was 18. Yeah. My Lincoln. She was a big girl.
Yeah.
so that's all I got.
I don't really have any obsession. It's just been. I really don't have an obsession. It's just I'm enjoying the weather and the fact that we're getting close to being out of a
thank
billion degrees. Well,
God.
I think we are. We may have we'll always have a resurgence
Probably
of a few
have
days.
one more.
That's
One
about
One
it.
more
Go
gasp.
at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, other than that, everything else is.
Free dental services on Labor Day. How did I miss that?
Damn it!
Fantastic.
I don't know where that
I don't
is.
know. It was in my newsfeed. I'm gonna click on it and read it
Yes.
instead of listening to this show.
Okay.
Alrighty then.
We're keeping your check this week.
Well, that.
Go ahead.
right.
In fact, you know what? I'm gonna write you one to match it.
Well, in that case, let's move on to this and see if everybody's ready for it. Maybe, maybe not. It is our headline teaser going into the end of hour one, into the B block, which is hour two, and here we go. Where's my mouse? There it is. Well, they're not in Kansas anymore.
Free dental services. Yesterday.
A gay teacher put the smackdown on.
It's you, Doug.
Go,
You're
Doug.
next.
Go, Doug. Go.
GoFundMe takes a weird turn.
Googly-eyed and looking very fresh.
Fuck you. Pay me.
Why you gotta have an article about Doug?
No flags on the moon.
Naked man leads police on lengthy pursuits, and a time capsule lost due to an English class. These and other stories coming up in just moments. Right here. Stick around.
Well, I gotta tell you, I'm a Yelper, and you're not gonna get a good review.
You're listening to Q Talk America.
Educates, syncopates, radio communicates, radio, the sound of year-round pleasure.
This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is the show on Q Talk America. I'm Clayton McKee, sitting alongside Kat Carlson, Marnie Reiner. That is Doug Wilkie, sitting in for Al Perkins, who has the evening off. By the way, just for the record, Doug Wilkie is a non-paid contributor to the Q Talk America Network.
Thank you.
I like to make sure
my
we're
titles.
very clear on that.
He
Also,
remains.
also the guest villainous, just for those of you who have been following
And
for so
special
many.
guest star.
Goddamn, how many titles do you want? Your nameplate is going to be huge.
It is. Yeah.
Very exciting, all these things. Well, the A block is over with, our first hour, so we're into the B block, the second hour. Thank you for joining along. This is show 357. It's the 4th of September 2018, and we are about to start in headlines. Coming up later, we got more stuff to talk about, but in the meantime, let's get into this one. It's headlines. Well, a pair of red sequin slippers from the classic 1939 film The Wizard of Oz have been found 13 years after they disappeared from a Minnesota museum, this according to law enforcement this morning. But the investigation continues into who's responsible for the 2005 theft of the cherry shoes. North Dakota United States Attorney Christopher Myers said, quote, "We reached our first goal, the recovery, and it's a great day, but we're not done yet." The slippers are one of 4 known pairs that the actress Judy Garland wore in her role as Dorothy Gale in the classic film. They disappeared in August of 2005 from the actress's namesake museum in her hometown of Grand Rapids. That'd be Grand Rapids, Minnesota, for those of you not following along. It sparked many years of rumors and dead-end leads as they were trying to do in the investigation. Finally, a tip last summer led law enforcement outside of the Minnesota area, prompting the FBI's involvement. This summer, the shoes were seized in an undercover operation in Minneapolis, according to the FBI. There's a certain romance in these types of schemes, he says, sometimes sophistication, but at the end of the day, it still is just a simple theft. These types of offenses not only deprive the owner of their property, but all of us, Myers said. This type of cultural property is important to us as a society. It reflects culture, it holds our memories, and it reflects our values. That according to him. Now, they displayed to the press. There is a picture of the slippers that they found. Put them on display for the reporters that were there. Now, according to the reporters, there's a little side note from the story. Says that some people were actually literally crying while witnessing this. The long-lost slippers were shown to reporters Tuesday at the FBI's Minneapolis headquarters in a news conference with repeated references to the rainbows and the memorable quote, "There's no place like home." I guess there was also a collector in the audience named Michael Shaw. Excuse me, got wrong on that. Memorabilia collector Michael Shaw loaned the slippers to the Judy Garland Museum in Grand Rapids for their annual Wizard of Oz festival back in 2005, and he rejected the museum's offer to put them in a vault each night because he didn't want people to touch them and mess with them, and subsequently that's what got them stolen.
Right.
Yeah, but now I guess he has them back, or will in the near future have them back, and they've located one of I don't know where the other ones are located, where the other slippers are located, but somebody.
There's a pair at the Smithsonian. I know a private collector has one pair. I don't remember. I think I've read this article like 12 times from different sources today. I know.
Sorry, stimulating radio, ladies and gentlemen.
More stimulating.
More.
Yeah, I don't know. I know there's definitely a pair at the Smithsonian.
So that's
Are
2.
you a KFI listener?
Not in years.
Okay.
KFI's out of San Francisco.
I think
Sacramento?
it's LA.
Is it LA?
I used to love it.
I like it when I'm driving out there. I like to listen because they do, their world is different with traffic reports and weather and what they do.
They do traffic every 15 minutes.
More than
24 hours a day.
I think it's more than that. I think they every 7 seconds they've got an update on something.
Right.
But no, I like to listen to them because their format is different than what we do here.
Yeah.
But cool. It's interesting. All right, Kat Carlson, you're up.
Well, I don't have a story to read, but let's talk about the Nike thing for a minute.
Okay.
So, people that may have had their head under a rock might not know that Nike has just put out a new ad.
I will find a picture of it.
With Colin Kaepernick. You know, the kneeling guy who hates troops. Right.
Hates American flag.
So, this is my favorite part about
By the way,
this.
that is sarcasm, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
yeah, it
I don't need an audio clip coming out of Q Talk America.
For someone that's never listened to
Yeah.
the show.
Right.
Also, you want me to say it again so it's nice and clear? And
No,
it,
it's
like,
fine.
Snips out.
I can edit it.
Is that
together.
offensive? I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's the part that I love about this whole story, right? Like, what did the ad say? It said stand for something even if it costs you everything, right?
Yep.
Well,
Which-
I'm going to show you.
Which,
Stand for something you believe in, even if it costs you everything.
There
I
it is.
believe, Yeah.
something like that, which is a great message. I love that message. I
Yeah.
love that Kaepernick's the face on that message because he really did lose his football career so far
Yeah.
because of trying to make his statement about his statement is about police brutality and violence against black men in America, which is something that I'm 100% on board with him getting that message out. And we all talked about
Me
it
too.
at length that whole season.
Yeah.
So
Here's
good
the
for him.
here's the ad
There's
for
the
those
ad.
of you watching if you want to.
It's a beautiful ad.
Oh,
It's simple. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
So of course, what do people do?
Lose their fucking mind.
Yeah.
Lose their goddamn mind. And
John J. and Rich, or John
Big and Rich.
Jo-
right.
Big and Rich, right? John J.
John
or John Rich.
think it is
went
John-
fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
John Rich goes on Twitter with a picture of the cut off cuffs of some Nike socks.
Yeah.
Says our sound man just cut the Nike swoosh off his socks. Former Marine, get ready, Nike. Multiply that by millions. Millions of people who already gave you their money are
Right.
now going to
Yeah.
destroy their
Yeah.
own
Exactly.
things.
It's so fucking stupid. I can't even stand
Pretty
it.
stupid.
Yeah.
While
Yeah.
you're at it, go buy a Keurig and then smash it in your driveway.
Right.
Because they stopped advertising on Fox.
Well, remember when the people were buying the Kaepernick jersey and then burning it?
Yeah.
It's like, but you
Yeah.
just bought them. You're,
Take
you're like,
$50
yeah,
and light
burn
it on
yeah,
fire.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Kat. Thank
Right.
you.
Hi, Harrison. Yeah, exactly.
you.
Hi, Harrison.
Yep.
I don't
Bullshit.
understand how people don't
And
see this.
I
Nike
know.
doesn't give a shit.
No,
they
they
already have your
don't.
money. And
I know.
furthermore,
I know.
you know who Nike's biggest customer is?
Uh-huh.
It's not asshole white people that are cutting their socks
Yeah.
off.
No.
No, it's young African American men that are actually buying
Yep.
a bulk of their products anyway.
And
You
they're
cutting your
so-
socks up doesn't hurt them at all.
Right.
I saw someone saying, I some meme today that I love that said the conservatives always want to call us the snowflakes, whatever
Mm-hmm.
they said. What is more reactionary, stupid, snowflakey than cutting my clothes up that
Right.
I just bought
Right.
from Nike? And I'm glad you brought this story up because the
You're
the
welcome.
other
Doug.
thing
I
that
did it-
just
I did it for you, Doug.
drives me crazy is now because I'm seeing this all over. They're like, and we're gonna boycott them, and you just see what happens. Nike's one of the biggest multinational global companies in the world. It's not gonna do one fucking thing
No,
to
a
their
boycott
bottom
is
line.
more effective. Boycott makes perfect sense.
But it's not going to
To
do anything to
stop
them.
buying Nike. Well, but still, like
But
if
it's
you
making
want
a
to try,
statement,
if you
just
want
like
to try
with gay
and make a
people.
statement,
like I'm not going to go to Chick-fil-A or
Yeah, good
people
luck.
aren't
With,
gonna-
good luck with that with Nike that sells their clothes around the entire
Well,
world.
people did it with
Yeah.
Adidas, or people did it. I mean,
Sure.
there were all kinds of things.
and it
sure.
does make an impact.
I will
like
give you a
boycotts make
dollar.
an impact
I
in
will
the
give
bottom
you a
line.
dollar if it affects their sales.
Yeah, I'm not.
Well, their
implying
stock
it
It's
went
will.
not
down
going
3%
to.
today, but I think that's right now. And boom, it's going to skyrocket again.
Yep.
They're a
And
big.
then
they're
everything's
a
going to crash in
behemoth.
18 months, and I'm going to buy a house. So.
Yeah. There
That's
you
your
go.
goal.
But I do.
But I
I
agree
think
that-
that's interesting.
I agree with what you're saying. It's just absolutely ridiculous
It is.
that a bunch of, dare I say, the rights or the people who really don't get what this is all
Right,
about.
the people that
Right.
don't understand
They're
what's
the
happening
ones
in the first
burning
place.
shit.
But they're going to tell you what it's all about, even though they don't understand what it's all about.
So
Hates the troops.
a lot of
They hate
people,
the troop.
right? And so the people on the other side, whatever side that might be,
the non-burning,
Wrong.
right?
the burners or the non-burners.
So what this comes down to me, is that you have two sides to this, right? There isn't any kind of middle. There isn't any kind of middle. You either have the people that don't get it or that do get it,
Right.
and the end,
yeah.
right?
Right.
No matter what's left or right or whatever. What it comes down to, the only thing that's in the middle that in my opinion makes absolute sense is that it's freedom of speech. And so it's what folks were fighting for to begin with, right? That we're going, whether it be off to war or whatever, or enlisting. Because the opposite picture that people are now putting out there, which perhaps you saw, was Pat Tillman, right? And believe in something, no matter what, if you're willing to lose everything for it. And he did. And that's what people like. So I personally, I know that one message is about purely about XYZ with Kaepernick, right? And I get that. And I'm not sticking up for the other side. I'm saying they're trying to scream this. One way or another, it's just about freedom of speech and that debate and the right to protest and
Which
the
is
right
what Pat Tillman died fighting for.
Exactly.
By the way.
Right. But that's the thing is that's where I'm looking at it going, I don't think either side in that regard, if it's about freedom of speech, is wrong. Because they all have the right to freedom of speech and freedom to disagree and freedom to have a conversation about it.
But not the freedom to tell you what you're thinking
Right.
inside your head about it.
Exactly.
Or, as
You're
I've heard,
right.
they're all speaking now for what Colin Kaepernick thinks. And
Yes,
the
yes,
whole thing that he
uh-huh.
was raised by white kid. What is it? He was raised by a white family
I didn't hear
and
that.
has a Muslim girlfriend. Oh, I've heard it all.
Oh, sure,
And
sure.
you know, he couldn't possibly have known a single day of discrimination in his life because he's always been privileged. And you know, this whole interesting discussion. Which, if you're black in America and rich, you're still
Right.
experiencing
Right,
discrimination
right.
on a daily basis.
Well, look at the gentleman who the actor from
Danny Glover.
Jeffrey from Cosby Show. No?
Nope. The one who was in was it Ving Rhames just recently?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
They went to his house,
Right,
and
because the
a
neighbor said that he
called?
was breaking into
Yeah,
his own house,
yeah.
and they're like, oh,
And he
and a
answered
cop
the
finally
door.
recognized him.
Yeah.
Danny Glover said, and he talked about this with the New York Times. When he's in New York, he cannot get a cab. This is an Oscar-nominated,
Yeah.
Famous actor.
Yeah.
They don't stop for him. So, but he's wealthy,
Right.
Uh-huh.
and
Right.
this whole thing. So this whole thing like makes my head explode. But
One of the things that I
you're not-
noticed.
sorry.
Go ahead. No. One of the things I noticed this morning that I thought was
What were you
interesting.
gonna say?
And it's again, everybody's got their own opinion on all of this shit, and nobody's all can't be right and all can't be wrong. But the National Association of Police Organizations fired off a letter this morning to the Nike chairman, saying that the organization is now calling for a boycott of all Nike products. They say, in featuring Mr. Kaepernick in the Just Do It campaign, Nike grossly insults the men and women who really do make sacrifices for the sake of our nation. According to the letter, we are calling all of our members, our member officers, and their families and friends to join us in boycotting all Nike products. So then I thought to myself, well, if that same ad that we showed, the picture of him right here, if we if this ad would have been a split screen, and it would have had him on one side and an officer of the law on the other side with the same
Sure.
saying, would that have pacified them, or would it have not?
that's a fantastic question.
Yeah, that really is a
That's a
great
good
question.
thought experiment.
I don't know, I just thought the first thing I thought of, because I'm like,
Right.
But again, now granted,
Right.
at least the right people potentially are mad about it because he was kneeling for police brutality.
Right.
It's
Yes.
not about the troops. It's
Yeah.
not about
Nope.
the national
Yeah.
anthem.
Right,
No.
it's not an
It's
anthem
not
protest.
It's
right.
not.
But
it's not.
It's a terrible
it-
song anyway, but
I
he's
know,
not mad
and,
about it.
and no matter how many, the
Right.
thing that drives me crazy is no matter how
Freedom
many
of
times
speech.
he says that, people go, no, that's not why you're doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Which
hate the
drives me
troops. You
insane.
hate the
Yeah,
troops. Why do you hate the troops?
Whenever sentences start with you like that, that's the problem.
Because the
you.
orange rat bastard has got all of his disciples to
Sure,
believe
sure.
that.
Right.
Well, and Harrison
this,
said
this
that.
isn't a Trump thing. This has been going
no,
on for a long
it's been
time.
going on longer than Trump.
Yeah.
Well, I thought
Oh my God.
He's the one
it's
who
like it
has
was a
he's-
smoldering fire and he just like blew
he
air
blew
on
it up. Yeah, he and Jerry Jones.
The first time I
and-
remember running into the irrational "You Hate the Troops" brigade was it had to have been Iraq. You know what I mean? Like, why do you hate the troops? Why don't
Right.
you support this ridiculous thing that we're trying to do? You must hate
You
troops.
know when that started was after 9/11.
Right.
And there's a whole thing
Iraq.
about the militarization of sports, especially football. So here's something to just everybody to stick this in your mind for
Go
a
to a
moment.
sporting event on Veterans
We
Day. Like
never
the
did.
force-feeding
We never
patriotism.
did the national anthem in football before 9/11. People don't realize that.
Oh.
It was never a big thing. There's been a concerted effort to move to
It's always a baseball
militarize
thing, though, wasn't it?
baseball for sure.
America's
Well, that
America's
was the
sport.
national pastime, right?
So there has been a concerted effort to militarize football and to create that. So that's
Football's
such a
so gross.
false, dichotomy. It just drives me nuts.
No.
Fair point.
And it's not even just football. Like the forced patriotism at sporting events.
Yes, that's exactly what it
Is-
is.
Like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
A lot of times. I made not the mistake, but I landed at a women's basketball game one time on, some holiday, Memorial Day or Labor Day, I don't fucking know. A couple of years ago, and I, before the game even started, I was there with my kids, and I'm like, oh, this is
That's how I feel
perfunctory and
about
gross.
it.
Like there was a court size flag with all of these service members, and I don't hate troops.
Yeah,
I don't know a whole lot of troops.
I don't either.
I probably would hate some of them if I knew more, but
we don't need to go to a masturbatory exercise
Right.
of it either.
But oh
I
my
know,
god,
it drives me crazy.
Just makes my skin.
I
crawl.
just want to watch a ball game. I don't need all the
Yeah,
other bullshit.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
I want to see Diana Taurasi's
Yep.
Doing her
cursing at
thing.
some refs, doing what she does.
Right.
That's what I want to see. Maybe a dunk occasionally.
Oh,
It's
check out what
exciting.
Aaron said.
Aaron from LA in the chat room saying, "Whoa, there was a random audio of Al on the audio only stream." Well,
A ghost.
I don't
He
know.
said highway to heaven. So he's
He
all,
did.
We're broadcasting on the audio only stream. We're still connected.
See
so
what
I'm not
happens.
Sure.
You start talking about hating the troops.
Yeah.
So
NSA,
what do you
boom,
think
blast
about?
right in.
So this is another little twist, and we can just move on if you don't think it's interesting or not. So what about the fact that Nike is this big, huge corporation, and is there something kind of weird though about them co-opting this big political issue and climbing into that?
Oh, a strategic move. No, they knew
Yeah.
exactly what
I
they were
know, but
doing.
isn't that kind of weird?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Look
To
at
co-
Coke.
to
Look at
monetize
Coke or
it.
Pepsi or whatever.
No,
like
that's
during
that's what I'm
the-
saying.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
Sure.
I'm saying that's a bad thing. Like when Kendall Jenner's whole, remember that stupid commercial? She's
Right.
handing the
Pepsi. It was
The
Pepsi.
Pepsi.
It was
Pepsi
Pepsi,
to the
right. But that's where
because
you
Kendall
have
Jenner's
Coke.
solving all of our
Right.
our social problems. I just feel I don't like when big companies do. So my reaction was probably not what other people had. This whole thing that was happening was it, I guess today or the last 2 days, and I just thought I had a different angle on it. I just thought that's kind of strange. That
Doug, here's the thing. We are living in a material world.
Yeah.
She's a material
And that's
girl.
the problem.
Yeah.
No, but to be serious, that's how companies connect with consumers.
Totally.
I
You know what I
think
mean?
it's-
Like
right, and
Nike-
I think that's a problem.
Nike sat down and
Been
thought
doing it
about
for
it
years.
and said, you know what, this is what we as a corporation want to stand for, and this is who we think is going to best represent this brand, and we're going to put it together, and we're going to sell a fuck ton of sneakers, and some redneck assholes are going to cut their socks up.
Yeah.
Win, win, win.
Yeah,
And this has been going on forever.
We're a
and a
capitalist
but
fucking
that
day.
doesn't make it okay.
I'm not saying.
Yeah,
it's
we are a
okay.
capitalist
But
society.
this
That
has
comes
been-
with a lot of
Coke,
social ills.
Coke covers everything because they, Coca-Cola Bottling Company has handed out. I mean, they have
Give the world a
all
Coke.
nations
Yeah.
give the world a Coke, right? They
I
have.
think
They
that's
wrote
a
a whole
problem
song
too.
about it.
Yep.
I'm just anti-consumerism. So,
So where do you find all your unbranded products?
what do you mean?
What shirt is that?
God, that was fantastic.
Well-
I'm sorry. I don't mean that because I'm like, where do you go with that? That was awesome.
Well,
You have an-
really.
I'm being
That's
a
the hard
jerk, but
part.
you're
Yeah,
That's the hard part.
You have an LG phone. You have an Acer laptop. You drive a what? An unnamed car?
no, a Kia.
Okay.
you're susceptible to marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that
Oh, I
but that's the hard part. I mean, because
No,
that's
that's-
exactly the bullshit part. You
that's what
have
I'm
to be able to
saying.
buy
There is a
stuff. Yeah.
saturation of it. That's
Right.
an oversaturation
Right.
of it.
Oh,
Right.
100%.
So
Totally
take a breath.
agree. Yeah.
Right.
Totally agree.
We can't escape it. That is the problem.
Right.
And lots of people don't, participate to varying degrees. I don't shop on Black Friday.
Right.
I don't get my self-esteem out of labels.
Sure.
That's not where it's coming from. I don't identify with particular brand support.
I do. These old
And
Navy
so-
shorts are
I do,
defining me.
'cause I
These
got
old Navy
Chuck's.
Right.
shorts, babe.
Sorry that there are Nikes at this point because
No,
Chuck
I'm
said Nikes are Nike owns Chuck.
Oh, do they now?
Converse.
Converse. Yeah.
I'm just saying that I try not to support corporations that do the things that say Nike does.
Sure.
So I do make some calculations about. I feel like every dollar you spend is a political decision. So I am actually, to be very honest with you, I am thoughtful
Sure.
about
Pay attention to
how I am making my decisions, and I tend to buy local and promote that all the time,
Yeah,
and then
that's
get
true.
attacked from people who are like, what's wrong with corporations? A lot's wrong with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I make a concerted effort, and probably more so than a lot of people do, but it is an inescapable fact, that I would like to drive a car.
Right.
So
exactly.
you know,
Yeah. And so what?
sure.
And the what choice do you make? Because it would have to be buying a car. Like at that point, I would
Well,
think it would have to be
but-
buying a car
but
that
there's
has never
but
backed
Subaru
anything.
is a more socially responsible company than say maybe
Yeah,
another
I know,
car
but
dealer,
I'm
right?
a bad lesbian because I didn't know that when I went to get it.
So I still think even within that world, you can make conscious choices
a
about
bad
it.
human because I didn't
Nike,
know that.
Nike is steamrolling through. They're such a massive like
Yep.
conglomerate of.
I took
So
mine
for
off before I
instance,
got her.
they really aren't for capitalism. They don't want any competition, and they're making sure that it doesn't happen. So they've gone into
Nobody
like
in
high
business
schools.
wants competition.
But there should be health. But Nike shouldn't be able to just take over the entire thing. So
And
they prey on, for instance, public schools, right? That should be able to. They shouldn't need Nike to come in.
Right.
They will buy the shirts, right? So for the high school team. But the only way they'll do it is they have to do all of it.
Right,
So
right.
they push everybody out of the way. I mean, you probably don't follow professional tennis, but I do. So the
Right.
U.S. Open right now.
It's
Now
a
when you
big
look,
deal.
well, what they did was they've started with the USTA with the kids and already as children. So now everybody wears Nike and will all the way
Oh.
through. They have pushed out other names for the most part. And like Harrison was saying, their Chinese, sweatshop practices, are not great.
Kathy Lee
they're
did the same thing.
they
and it
white
was fine.
they white
Till Hoda whipped
they
that up.
whitewash it.
Right.
So this ad campaign is very much like, look at us, look how
Look how good we are.
sensitive we are. Yeah, okay. Same thing with Apple.
Buy some.
Right?
Well,
Apple has some horrible practices too,
Sure.
and people love their products.
I'm gonna keep buying them.
That's all. I'll get off my soapbox
six
about
socially
it.
Doug, why do you hate our
responsible-
troops?
I hate our and
Why-
that
Why
makes
do
me
you
hate
hate
our
the
troops.
flag? Why do you hate the
No,
flag?
I just hate corporations, not troops.
6 socially responsible companies to applaud just for people that want to.
Thank
Please
you.
go to Google, Ben and Jerry's,
Ice cream.
Lego,
Yeah,
Fun.
there you go.
Levi Strauss, Warby Parker, which makes me very happy because I will be going there to get my glasses, and Microsoft. Those are 6 socially
Yeah, exactly.
responsible companies.
So you do have a choice
just letting you
within the crushing capitalist, right? That society, that structure that we don't have control over at an individual level. You can still make conscious decisions.
Before we move on to your headline
Yeah,
and change
yeah,
this topic
please.
altogether, I wanted to share what one of the things I found today on Facebook, which was lovely. I posted it on my wall, but I wanted to go over it with you. Speaking of the companies and where they're based and who owns them,
This was hilarious.
This
I loved
this lovely woman, I'm sure she's lovely. Her name is Dawn, and Dawn.
God,
Not
that was
anymore.
So funny.
Don't know. Well, could be. Well, Becky's didn't want her. The
Ruths
The
take
Ruths. you all
Carry
that.
on. Show the thing.
So Dawn, she fires off. People need to remember this company is not an American company, and yes, they're Muslim. Well, Nike fires back at her because, well, what else do you do when you're Nike? Nike says, well, we're based in Oregon. Oregon is in America. There's nothing wrong with being Muslim. Hope this helps. I love that. Well, then
That's fantastic.
Dawn, she goes, well, just because your headquarters are in Oregon does not mean that you're American. Google is in California, but is nationally owned. Google isn't an American company either. Hope this helps. Then she's like, sad you decided to ruin your sad you decided to ruin your reputation. Good luck, you'll need it. And oh yes, Muslims have been committing genocide for Christians for 1,500 years.
Oh, God.
And America is a Christian
Oh,
nation.
there's a lot going on there.
Oh, you have no idea.
Well, Google fires back. Dawn, we are based in California. California is in America. But we get what you're saying. We are technically in America, but we operate globally. Kind of like how you are based in Wisconsin, but operate ignorantly.
That's fantastic.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
That wins the internet
Yeah,
for
it
for
today.
does.
today.
Yeah.
Yes.
God, whoever runs Wendy's,
Yeah.
Wendy's Twitter, well, that
That's
was
right.
a Facebook feed.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Wendy's
The
Twitter
Wendy's
is
Twitter
always
is
wonderful.
And now Google for like,
That's so good.
we're based in
And
America.
I love that they took the time to actually respond
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah.
They could have just said, fuck that.
And I wonder, was there a meeting on that response, or was somebody just like,
Just,
oh,
I'm doing this
Oh,
one.
I'm
fire it
done.
right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I think
fantastic.
there was a conference call.
probably should. Marnie, what's your headline, darling?
Well, there.
Every
Sorry, I
story
had to
there-
go back to it.
Every
Sorry.
story there says, well,
Well, so there was a gay teacher.
Just the one, dear.
Just
Shut
the-
down. Just, the
Just
one.
one. There's only one.
Just this one.
Yeah.
The first one
Well,
ever.
for this story at least. A gay teacher shuts down a homophobic mom who pulled her kids from his class. And we've heard this story basically before, but I just enjoy it. I enjoy it when someone just, verbally slaps the shit out of somebody. It makes me real, real happy. There's a viral story making its rounds about a gay teacher who fabulously, I also appreciate an article that has fabulously
course.
in it, shut down a homophobic mom who pulled her kids from his drama class. And his response is exactly what you would expect from a gay drama teacher. Hashtag stereotype.
Was it a monologue from Les Mis?
I know, hey.
Was it a mashup of Rent songs?
It all
One
started.
day more.
It all started
Was it a Celine Dion medley?
when a mother in Kidderminster, it's European, England, decided against sending her kids to drama classes run by Michael Neary, a drama teacher who runs a performing arts school, for 8 to 13-year-olds called Talking Props Theater School.
So she sent the kid to the gay school anyway.
Totally, right?
Okay.
Although the mother had signed up her 2 kids for this theater class due to its strong reputation, the reason she withdrew them was because Neary was gay. The text message exchange was actually quite graceful and civil from both parties, which you can read right here. Ready?
Ready.
Mother says, "Hi, Michael. Following our chat this week, I've decided that blank and blank, her sons, will not be attending class on Monday.
Rick
You have
and
a
Steve.
Maybe. They have track lighting. You have
Chip and Dale. Right?
You have a strong reputation for performing arts, which encouraged me to sign my children up for the classes. I have recently learned of your lifestyle, and as a Christian, I cannot allow my children to be influenced by unconventional ideas. It is our belief that a man should marry a woman. I look forward to receiving my deposit, which you may post to me via check.
I feel like I know where this is
Lyle."
going.
To which Neary responded, "Hi, blank cunt." Oh, I don't know. Maybe that's not her name. Maybe that's not what he said.
Artistic
Anyway.
liberty.
I would be lying if I said I was disappointed to hear this. I pride my students on the respect and love they have for others and their passion for equality. You would only be infringing on our family. I do appreciate that. As far as I am aware, my sexuality doesn't affect my ability to teach, just like it wouldn't affect a doctor's ability to treat one of your children should they become unwell. I'm sure your children's health would come first should they need emergency treatment. Or would you need to check their doctor's lifestyle prior to their life-saving operation? I wish you luck in finding an appropriate stage school that meets your needs. However, from experience, I find that the theater without gays is like cooking without spices. Just my opinion. I hear Stagecoach are enrolling, but their teachers have been known to wear mixed fabrics, which I'm sure you're aware is forbidden in the Bible, Leviticus 19:19. Please feel free to come see our musical, Happy Days. Confetti will be used in the finale, but please rest assured this is not an attempt to corrupt your Christian lifestyle. We just love glitter. Unfortunately, deposits are non-refundable, but don't worry, your deposit has been donated to Stonewall, an LGBT charity. Regards, Michael. So, what an exchange. Depending on which side of the fence you stand on, it's easy to take sides. But there is a deeper lesson to be learned here that no other versions of this article have bothered highlighting. Dialogue. Regardless of whose side you're on, without open communication, everything crumbles. There are so many opportunities to strengthen our relationships and bridge social and cultural gaps. We'd actually be interested in seeing what other text had gone back and forth, if any. The last time that we checked, you can disagree with someone and still get along. In fact, we challenge all of you to find and make friends that challenge your thinking, your beliefs, and your overall worldview. The world will become better for it.
I am not going to brunch with a bunch of rednecks. So
No?
no,
No.
not happening.
And I
Ew,
get
rednecks
that.
at brunch. How would that work?
Well, it'd be well.
Where do
all
you put the lawn chairs?
Well,
The back of
on
the
her
truck.
driveway.
Back of the truck.
On her driveway.
That's not brunch. That's
Right?
for evening time.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't understand the etiquette.
But I thought
Brunch is for bar stools.
I thought that article had taken like a serious
I was
turn.
hoping there were more back and forths
I
coming
know,
on
me
that.
too.
Yeah,
me
sometimes they
too.
go
and I was like, okay,
on.
but I thought he
Like retaliatory garden lighting.
Right, exactly.
Oh my
But
God.
when it
That is
said
the best.
regards,
Oh
I
my
was like, oh
God.
come on. Yeah, that's where I thought it was going, and then all of a sudden, and I thought it was just interesting because of the back and forth that we just had because of that article that Kat or the conversation Kat started. and how that this has become a thing that people have been talking about quite a bit all day today with the Nike stuff. And so I just thought it was very interesting that I had this article from before, and as you read down, you're like, oh yeah,
It would be
Oh.
interesting to know later on down
well,
the road.
I don't think that I needed a
out of
lesson.
her
but
two
yeah.
sons, she decides then that she seeks out and finds whatever drama teacher
Right,
that
straight
is
as hell.
straight, right?
Yeah.
And then down the road, one of her children comes up gay.
Rick or Steve.
Who are either one? Who is she going to blame them?
Right.
I
Right.
you know,
Because she walked past this Neary one time, maybe he
Right.
caught the gay.
Yeah.
Kind of like, little my chihuahua.
No, don't say it out
I
loud.
was gonna say he blew him, but that would be awkward. But
I don't even know what to say.
I don't know where we're going with this, but I'm uncomfortable.
but I did. I thought it was interesting that it came up with this little lesson in it about the fact that at least there was dialogue, and the dialogue ends with "she's a cunt." Discussion.
that's a
closed.
place that goes a lot of times. Yeah,
I
that's
think
really
so
a
as
place
well.
that we land a lot.
Well,
But
we're
it
right.
is interesting. So there was, well, I guess there was
I'm not arguing.
something of a dialogue there. Not. I wish there was more of a
It
dialogue
began-
there.
right,
but
right,
it began
right.
with that. Like,
Yeah.
if there was,
there
we
was
weren't
there
privy
was
to
no
it.
attack.
Yeah,
We don't
and
know that.
that's but even the way that the woman wasn't like a. I mean,
I hope he donated
she-
it in her name
That would be awesome.
to the Stonewall. That would be fun too.
Yeah,
Doug.
That's what we do for Pence with Planned Parenthood.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Periods for Pence.
What you got, Doug?
I wonder
So
if he's still getting.
I don't know if you maybe have heard this story because it's an interesting, heartwarming. Began as a heartwarming story. So
We don't read those.
Right, Harrison.
We don't read those.
This is
But
where
it's-
heartwarming stories come to die.
But it's, yeah, right.
we're
But
gonna
it's
kill 'em.
certainly not one now.
Okay.
So, which I want, which at the risk of creating more controversy than I already
Oh.
have.
Oh God, go for it.
So after
That's
Johnny
what's fun.
Bobbitt Jr., a homeless man with just $20 in his pocket, gave stranded motorist Kate McClure the money for gas last October, the woman and her boyfriend then raised $400,000 to help him out. This was with GoFundMe. But the feel-good viral story recently devolved into a feud over how much money Bobbitt had yet to see. The case went to New Jersey court on Thursday, where a judge ruled the couple needs to provide a full accounting of where the money has gone, and said until then, the remaining money needs to be turned over to his legal team and kept in a trust. According to CNN affiliates, McClure and Mark D'Amico had the money. That was, I think, her boyfriend had the money raised on a GoFundMe in their personal accounts. The two sides differed as to how much had been dispersed. McClure's and D'Amico's attorney, they said they provided him with more than $200,000. Bobbitt's lawyer said no, the amount was $75,000. When they talked to the attorney
Significantly less.
Yeah.
Totally right.
125 if my math is right.
Oh, good work with the math there,
125K.
McKee.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
So in court, he told the judge, the couple have said they will have a forensic accountant. They've said that they are fine with the trustee. They said they will open up the books. What more can they do? So they said, withhold judgment. We're not going to. So they have spent. It's not in here, but I saw they have spent. And Kat, you were talking earlier about GoFundMe administrative fees. Did they take a big cut?
So as it turns out, we were talking about this off air. As it turns out, the GoFundMe fees are now exactly the same as the processing fees on PayPal. I don't know if that changed or when it changed, or if I just heard some bullshit and never bothered to look it
So
up.
does that mean they're
Yeah.
better or worse than it was
So
before?
well, it's the same as PayPal now. So the standard credit card processing fee is right around 2.9%, almost 3%, plus a small amount per transaction.
Okay.
So with PayPal and apparently GoFundMe, because I looked it up, it's 30 cents plus 2.9%
Okay.
Per
So-
dollar or per transaction?
per transaction.
Got it.
Well, if it was $1, it would be.
Right. But it's saying out of $100, you're going to get 97?
They're gonna take $29 or no $2.90
Right.
plus 30 cents. So they're gonna
Okay.
take
That's
Got
a
it.
lot.
$3.20 out of
Okay.
your 100.
Look at that math. Fuck you
Wow.
people. Look at that. Look
Wow.
at
That's fantastic.
Okay.
Percentages and math
Damn.
and things are
that.
happening.
Square roots at some point.
Yeah.
That hurt my head.
So here's the thing: they have spent some of this money, and they got caught, and they've spent
Like you do.
on vacation
Right.
and stuff. And so they said that the McClure and her boyfriend said they did what they could to help Bobbitt. Here's the clincher at the end. Who has a drug addiction? The couple told the newspaper they gave Bobbitt more than half the money. That's some debate, but we're withholding the rest until he gets a job and is drug free. So, what do you think of that? Is that their judge said no, it's his money, give it to him, and they don't get to make a judgment about his drug use or not or whatever. But so I think it's just kind of like a 21st century or 2018 story, or GoFundMe. This is like it's not new, but these things are happening more and more. Who does get to decide something like that? Like, should they raised the money, but he did the good thing? Should they just be given? Do they have a right to dole it out to him like that? I feel like that's going to be a big legal thing for future things.
It would seem to me, and this isn't the
I'm just
the right or
curious what
wrong
you guys
answer to
think.
this, but I was thinking, I think it would be a lot more commendable if, let's say, they set up a trust that doled out it doled something out to him. The rest of it was in a savings, and it maybe accrued interest or earned interest, whatever.
Yeah,
he could do what he wanted to with it, but somehow. It was. I mean, I couldn't come to you and say I've raised $400,000 for you, but by the way, you have to stop drinking wine.
Yeah,
I couldn't do that. That just makes no sense.
Right.
However, I think it would make.
that's essentially what they're doing.
But I don't know how you would do it where it doles out a little at a time to him, enough as a living expense for longer term, but yet.
You'd have to set up a trust.
Right, but a trust, but part. Again, I don't know how it would work, but I would
think the lawyers are going to have a field day.
If you could get it so that. It also funded, not only you got a living expense, but it also funded, what's the word I want? Not therapy. That's not the word I want. Substance rehab, something.
Yeah.
It enabled you to be in a program that would help you with that.
Right.
Because
so
it's
then,
real
so I have a
fucking
question then.
expensive.
If that's the case, then should they be transparent and say that when they make the ask for the money? Because maybe when I'm donating the money,
Harrison, I
want him to have the money.
Yeah.
Right.
And
no,
I don't want this bitch to control it.
No.
Right, I'm
Fuck
with you.
her.
Right.
So
the money came from me,
right?
or you,
and
or
she's deciding where it goes. Maybe I want him to have that money.
Sure.
So I wonder if
That's an odd one.
I'm just saying, if the evolution is, do you have to put that on there? We are setting up a trust. We are not giving this person money, and
well,
then
I think
see
if
if
you're
that changes
specific
it.
about it. But I'm
What is
loving
Harrison
what
saying?
Harrison says. His drug addiction wasn't an issue when he helped them.
Thank you.
But suddenly becomes a problem when it's time to pay it back.
Yeah,
Fucking hypocrite.
It's
Right.
condescending.
Yeah,
and they
absolutely.
use the money.
That's true.
Well, and if they hadn't used the money, then I'm thinking I'm not saying that it's right at all.
Yeah.
Because she's right.
I think too. This is another unpredictable nature of this and other stories like this. I don't think they thought it was going to be that amount.
Sure.
And then when it
And all of a sudden
was,
there's all this
that
money?
changed. Right, there was.
That's
they
our
thought,
meal
They
ticket.
thought there was going to be,
Yep.
$10,000, and then give it to him, and that's great. And suddenly, when there was 400,000,
Yeah.
the rules
Right, yeah,
changed.
sure.
Well, why
So-
shouldn't we ask for it? Why
Right.
shouldn't we get? I mean, some
Yeah.
of it, because if we hadn't asked
Well, that's what
for
they're.
it,
Yeah, that's what I think the logic is
Yeah,
now.
sure.
I just want to see. I'm just throwing this out there as more of a big thing because we're seeing. Did you see the guy that worked in the convenience store that helped the kid with autism?
I
That's
feel
a-
like saying no.
That is fascinating.
maybe.
And this is another one that it's a really nice story, but it's like this money that comes in. I kind of think sometimes I think it's a lot. So there was an autistic high on the extreme end of the autism, not much of a communicator, and he was fascinated by watching the guy put the milk in the thing, and so and he's a high school teenager, and he said,
Hi, Jenny.
Hello, Jenny.
here, help me do it. Do you want to
Aw,
help me?
that's
And the
great.
autistic kid loved it, and he did the whole thing. So the story went viral, and they were like, "What a kind young man to do all of this." And then same thing happened, and they sent in $100,000 for him to pay for him the worker kid to go to college. But that's a shit ton of money,
Right.
right? For
Those
Yeah,
kind of things seem like they should be put into a trust, though.
don't they? And
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
But
I'm
who
not
does
saying
that, and
against
how
who's the
does it- yeah.
even a trust. I just don't. I don't know who should decide all that. It just seems like really a weird thing, and it's not going to go away. This is
Sure.
going to be. These stories are going to continue.
Sure.
I just wondering.
That is interesting, though.
Yeah, I think it would make more sense to have it put into a trust
Yeah.
with some stipulations where you get an
stipend
allotment,
and a
right,
like that,
right.
yeah.
Whether it's monthly or weekly or however the hell it's done.
Yeah.
But the core is locked away.
And it's still yours. No
And
one's saying
right,
it's not.
yours.
Yeah.
But maybe you get it at 80 years old or 75.
But I don't know
but
that
it's
there's
still,
Marnie can have the money if she loses another 10 pounds. Like, what the fuck?
Right?
Like,
it gets
who
weird.
has the right to put that stipulation
I know.
on it?
I think that's interesting.
Now, granted, I mean, well, all
Well,
that
if
money
you're gonna-
could fuel some McDonald's, so maybe it just fuels his drug habit.
No, it's
I
different if
don't
you
know,
sign up
whatever.
for the game show and you get $1 million if you lose the 10 pounds.
Yes.
Totally different situation.
Totally, yeah.
Right.
I agree.
Though they're controlling when you get the money, but you've agreed to the terms and conditions.
Right, right.
But again, maybe if they would have gone into it with this guy and said, "Look, we believe in you. You helped us. We want to help you." Blah blah blah. But again, I would imagine there should have been lawyers involved in the front end of this.
Sure.
Because
And maybe
they
there will
could
be
have
now.
stacked the deck totally in their favor, aside from the fact that
But
it
then
went into
who's
their
paying
accounts.
the lawyers?
Yeah.
No, right. But
Obviously, it can come out of that money,
right.
but
I mean, if you could find someone who pro bonoed it and they just did, I don't know. There's other ways, but I that looks awfully suspicious going in, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think
Right.
so.
Yeah,
Right.
but I think you're right.
Fascinating.
When it was $10,000, the rules
Sure.
were one, but when it's 400,000,
Yeah.
we're going to Vegas.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Disneyland.
they
or where-
did.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, sure.
Honestly.
That is a good story.
Well, from our Q Talk America, there's something fishy going on here department. A seafood market in Kuwait was closed recently after it was discovered the staff had been putting plastic googly eyes on fish to make them appear fresher
Oh
than
my
they
God.
actually are.
Oh my god.
Here's a picture of fish
Oh my God.
with googly eyes on them. Footage of the odd-eyed fish began making the rounds last week, according to the BBC Broadcasting Network, and photos were later shared online by other news outlets. In one of the photos, the googly eye is seen slipping off the fish's face as a customer had taken it home and began cleaning it. That's where's my where's my mouse right here.
Oh my
Cut to here's a picture of what went wrong. So there on the left,
Oh my God.
on the left is
Oh my
googly
God.
eye, on the right non-googly eye.
I love googly eyes.
So just a quick question, if I
Ma'am,
may.
ma'am.
May I just?
Yeah.
Now, are they going to start doing that in funeral homes?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure because that could creep me the fuck right out.
Oh yeah.
You know, like all of a sudden the
Oh,
casket
that'd be
moves
cool.
and, right? And the eyes
I'm
are
kind of
going.
into that.
I'm sure you would
That
be.
is so funny.
Cody Googly Eye Grandma.
Yeah, no. The country's Minister of Commerce shut down the fishmonger on Saturday after identifying the seller. Since the news of the shop's closure, a rival Kuwaiti fish market was trolling the shop and announced that they only sold fish without cosmetic surgery.
Trolling. I do appreciate
I love that
that.
they're
the
trolling.
Yeah.
They're
With-
trolling.
without cosmetic,
Cosmetic surgery. That's great. They went to the dollar
is so
store.
funny.
They got those little eyes. And did the person who took that fish home and was cleaning it not realize that was
I don't know.
a fake eye? Just curious.
Ms. Carlson.
Well, I don't know if you've ever done this, but a lot of companies, especially restaurants and things, offer like freebies for your birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? You can go get your free dinner, your
Right.
free coffee, or whatever the fuck you get
Right.
because you got it. You're older.
Totally.
I'm basically a Jehovah's Witness when it comes to birthdays. I'm like, they make me feel weird. Anyway,
and old.
I have a new hero now. Her name is Helen.
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 Hello, my name is Helen.
I like it already.
Helen lives in Western
I
Montana,
had a couple of smokes.
and she just celebrated her 109th birthday.
Oh my God,
Holy
Helen.
shit.
Wow.
And she knew
been
exactly where she wanted to go.
Had a girl.
She went to a place called the Montana Club in Missoula,
Right.
and they offer a special discount for patrons based on their age.
Oh.
The older you are, the bigger the discount. For example, a person celebrating their 21st birthday would be entitled to a 21% discount.
Nice.
There's a lot of math
Oh
today.
my God, I'm enjoying
This is a lot of
hers.
math.
So
What-
It's
Helen,
free and a money
What's
get
the
back.
place called again that she went?
the Montana Club.
Montana
She's
Club.
gonna make out on this girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Helen intended for the restaurant to make good on their offer,
Helen.
100% and then some.
Right.
Restaurant owner Nick Alonzo told ABC Montana that Helen had been coming in to take advantage ever since she turned 100 years old. This bitch wants her free lunch. But a free meal wouldn't suffice for this special lady. She wanted a reward in keeping with the letter of the restaurant's policy. Once she turned 101, she informed me that I had to come in and pay her for her
Oh,
meal.
she gets cash back.
It's
Yeah.
I love it.
The centenarian, which is what you call people when they're over
Fair
100
point,
years
well
old,
made.
Sure.
was surrounded by 24 friends and relatives on Friday. When the check arrived, it indicated that her meal was free, but she also gained 9% back in cash.
Oh my God.
That's funny.
Helen was born in 1909 with the help of a midwife and has enjoyed life in Montana ever since. She loves the outdoors and recently went camping with her granddaughter in Lake Como.
Nice.
She lives with her granddaughter. where she's actively involved in raising her granddaughter's children and foster children. Taking care of the young ones keeps her active, and Helen admits that staying busy was key for her health and longevity. She says, well, I just worked hard all my life and took care of grandkids and more kids. So what did she order for dinner? Well, she didn't go overboard. For her celebratory dinner, Helen ordered some shrimp. Her bill wound up earning her $1.30.
Nice.
Happy birthday, Helen.
Well, and look at the beautiful surroundings she was in. This is
Oh,
the
that is.
Oh, that is
Look
good.
at the
lovely.
Montana
Look
Club.
at
That's
that.
beautiful.
fancy.
It is nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It is real nice. I like it. I like it a lot.
Cool.
Happy birthday, Helen.
That a girl.
Atta girl. So, let's see. What do I want
Cracks
to
me
talk
up
about
at every
today?
fucking story
Well,
with
because
her.
I just don't know.
She starts
I
out.
just don't know.
Well,
We gonna get over the hump of this story or no?
Maybe.
maybe.
I'll send you the one that I wanted to send you for later. We'll do that later.
Okay.
Oh, there's more later.
So, let's stick with the whole NFL protest thing.
Oh, my God.
I'm on 5 years of a 1-1-1 boycott.
I know you are.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm doing well.
I'm doing everything I can to counteract that boycott. So,
I can't work Sundays.
With one team.
yeah, just one team.
One team's all you
just,
give a
just
shit
the one.
about.
Just the one. So, Beto O'Rourke. You guys familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
So,
For those not
He was-
familiar,
Beto
running
O'Rourke
for Congress
is-
in Texas, or is he running for Senate?
Senate
he's
against
he's
Ted
against
Cruz.
Ted Cruz.
Ted
That's
Cruz,
right.
He's a Democrat out of Texas.
No.
And there is a video going viral for his eloquent defense of NFL players who choose to protest injustice by taking a knee during the national anthem.
A la Colin Kaepernick.
Correct.
Right.
O'Rourke was asked at a town hall meeting in his ongoing Senate campaign if he views the protests as disrespectful. The Senate hopeful didn't hesitate to break with the constituent who asked the question and offered a long and thought-out justification for his view. The person who had asked, let's see, I thought they had that in here. When I watched the video, it really, I mean, was a town hall, and it was full of people that all had the same view, seemingly, as the gentleman who asked the question, and stated, asked O'Rourke, what do you think? Do you think it's disrespectful? And offered that he thought it was disrespectful. So he was setting up, this is how I feel about it. How do you feel about it? And you could see from the people that were there, lots of nods of agreement and whatnot, with the gentleman. And O'Rourke didn't. He really didn't miss a beat. He said, my short answer concerning if the protests are disrespectful, my short answer is no. I don't think it's disrespectful. And reasonable people can disagree on this issue. Let's begin there. And it makes them no less American to come down on a different conclusion on this issue, right? He said, I can think of nothing more American. He says, peaceful, nonviolent protests, including taking a knee at a football game to point out that black men, unarmed, black teenagers, unarmed, and black children, unarmed, are being killed at a frightening level right now.
Sense a theme there.
Yeah. Including by members of law enforcement, without accountability and without justice. And this problem, as grave as it is not going to fix itself. And they're frustrated, frankly, with people like me and those in positions of public trust and power who have been unable to resolve this or bring justice for what has been done and to stop it from continuing to happen in this country. And so nonviolently, peacefully, while the eyes of this country are watching these games, they take a knee to bring our attention and focus to this problem and ensure that we fix it. That is why they're doing it, and I can think of nothing more American than to peacefully stand up or take a knee for your rights anytime, anywhere, any place. Signed, Beto O'Rourke.
Nice.
No, he didn't say signed, but
That'd
but
be
I
weird 'cause he was
really,
speaking out
I know,
loud,
right?
wouldn't
It'd
he?
be weird, like
You
third
sign your
person.
body
yeah.
like that.
But really
I think I'm
was
gonna start.
All right.
really was
I
pretty
love it.
fantastic.
I
and
love it.
you could, and it wasn't. He's walking around with a microphone. That wasn't, sitting there with his
Reading a statement,
right,
prepared statement.
prepared remarks. Yeah, it was. And watching him and listening to him was really powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really is a very captivating guy with his speaking. So
Yeah, and it's getting a lot of attention.
as well, he should.
I wonder
Because I
how close the
love
polls
that-
are now.
He closed in within like 4 points.
But unfortunately, I think Cruz will win in
Yeah, I
Texas.
do too.
Oh,
It is
do you really?
Texas. I do.
I don't know.
But it's
I
close.
hope
It's
not,
they're
I hope
within
not.
now. They're within the margin, as they always say,
Yeah,
within the
right,
margin of error.
right.
But he is, and this may help because now it's one of those big races where the outside money is coming in now.
Sure.
People are donating from all over the country.
Sure.
So it's curious. I'm curious to
like
see.
60 days out.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Ted
about
Cruz
that.
is just such a fucking disaster.
He's a tool. And this, like I said, this what an honest answer though. To not to, it wasn't about know your audience. It was about I don't care.
It was authentic.
Very authentic.
Did you, speaking of this whole Ted Cruz Texas thing, and I didn't read the full story. I caught a headline. I may have heard a little bit of it on the news somewhere with regards to using Trump's words against
billboard.
The billboards.
Hysterical.
Yeah, but he hasn't accomplished anything. Why would you support him or something to
Yeah.
that effect?
Yeah.
And so they're putting up billboards
that Trump
using
has
Trump's
said.
words against him
Criticizing
to
Cruz.
get Cruz. Yeah, I just thought it was like
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Your words will come back to bite
Sure.
you
It
in
was
the
the
ass.
Parkland kids.
Yeah,
That
they
would have-
raised the money.
Oh,
They raised the
I
money.
did not realize that.
And
Oh, how wonderful!
I keep
is that?
shouting them
Yeah.
out. I think I said this last week, but they had a 40% increase
Sure.
in like
Yeah, you
18
did
and
mention
19-year-old
that.
registrants, which
Yeah.
just blows my mind.
Yeah.
So,
Fantastic.
which is hopefully going to get rid of Republicans in
The majority.
Florida,
Oh yeah.
which segues nicely into my story.
And that gentleman running for governor,
Oh yeah,
What's his last name?
Cullum.
Cullum,
Cullum.
son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Out of nowhere.
Out
Yeah.
of nowhere. And
That
I
was
could,
crazy.
between O'Rourke and Gollum, I could sit there
Yeah.
and fucking listen to both of them all
yeah,
day.
I know.
Just
cool.
fantastic and I mean, it's like
You don't want to listen to Marco Rubio?
how
all day?
come? Yeah, no. It's kind of like what I picture would have been at the time, but for I guess we could go to kind of Bill Clinton, like when he would be speaking, or Obama, because they were so like they just kind of drew
Charismatic.
you in and very charismatic. But there's something with Goldman and O'Rourke that I go back to the likes of Kennedy. And and oddly I didn't think okay, so I said Clinton and Obama, and now I'm going to say Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr. And the fact that the correlation is that during those times that black white that is not intended.
Yeah.
But those two people at that time with Martin Luther King Jr. and Kennedy, they were so captivating, and just so like you just kind of hung
it's
on their words,
refreshing to see it.
right? and to see that kind of happening again,
Yeah.
and I really enjoy that, and no nonsense. I mean, none. He just
Nope.
like whatever. So smart.
I know.
Just
Fantastic.
side note on the great speakers, and before you get to your story, I'm sorry it was a eulogy, and I'm sorry that it was the whole thing. It was wonderful to hear Obama speak at
know.
Senator McCain's
Yeah.
services, because it was
It was.
like, oh my God, complete sentences.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
There's passion and education. Whoa, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
We've been devoid of that.
And the really cute thing of W handing candy to Michelle Obama.
For real.
Sneaking candy
Adorable.
to her.
I know Al got a kick out of it. It
Yeah.
was so cute to see that.
They're best girlfriends now.
And they and have been for
Yeah.
a very long time. I saw your comment that cracked me up. Well, and also, forgive me, but on that same token, it was something that Al hadn't seen. I sent him the link. I don't know if he had been able to watch it. But did you guys watch the local Senator McCain stuff here?
Yeah.
The memorial?
A little. Oh, with Biden.
Yeah.
Grant Woods
Yeah. Grant Woods.
Oh, I didn't.
was
I missed that.
Oh.
I'm sure I can find it.
Oh yeah, I can send it to you. I have it like right here on my phone. I can send it to you. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, it was good.
I didn't realize how fucking funny that guy is. He has really good timing and just kind of just dry, and it was great storytelling. And he did this. He was sharing a story that McCain had shared with him about Christmas, right? And that had been shared about Christmas when he was in. When he had been captured, when he was a loser for getting captured. I think that's what the president said. But there was something about Christmas and the way that he told the story and illustrated with the cross, and then did that. I was in tears. Like I had been laughing through, and then all of a sudden it just did one of those where you kind of and really was pretty fantastic. So it didn't get a lot of play, being that it was the memorial service here, but it really was. Jenny, you watched the whole thing?
Well, it was
Did
on
you get
the-
to see?
MSNBC took it live.
Well, and Tommy Espinoza, was that the person who spoke after Grant Woods?
I think so.
Again, that just to watch the two of them, because he was very funny talking about how McCain wanted him to do this, and he kept looking at him going, I'm a Democrat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's how Biden.
I am.
Isn't that how Biden started
It
his?
did, yeah.
I'm
a
Joe
Democrat.
Biden. I'm a Democrat, and I
Yeah.
love John McCain.
Yeah.
Or something
Yeah.
to that
Yeah.
that sense. Yeah.
And
that
it was
theme.
it was really something. Larry Fitzgerald was when he said we people were trying to figure out what we had in common, so I came up with a few things. I'm black and he's white. I'm young and he wasn't, and I have long flowing locks and he didn't. But it was really cute. He ran toward danger. I run out of bounds. It was cute.
That's
yeah,
a good joke
so,
writer.
Yeah, he did, and just it was really touching. But you're right, the Obama stuff was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
first
rock
rate.
on.
Yeah, sorry.
Moving along, what do you have
Well,
a Florida story, Doug?
I don't know if we can still. A theme has emerged with flags and
see?
political
I like it.
controversy tonight.
Goodness.
It's so
Very busy.
So and Florida now.
Yeah,
So
oh.
Ryan Gosling has a new movie out, directed by Damien Chazelle. Remember, La La Land and the one about the. I can't remember.
I'll help
I'll
you.
remember it.
I'm like,
The one with the psycho music teacher. I love that
I
movie.
Don't know.
That the guy won the Academy Award for.
No clue.
Stand by.
Okay, so Ryan Gosling is playing
American Beauty?
Neil.
No.
He's playing Neil Armstrong in a movie about the Armstrong moonwalk.
Okay.
It's called First Man.
Yes, and
Good title.
so it's getting rave reviews. The film festival in Europe, it's great performance, the whole thing. But Chazelle made the directorial decision to not do the flag planting in the movie that happened when Armstrong planted the flag on
Correct.
the moon.
Yep.
Gosling said it was his view that Armstrong's moonwalk transcended countries and borders, according to quotes featured in the UK Telegraph. I think this was widely regarded in the end as a human achievement, and that's how we chose to view it. I think that Neil was extremely humble, and as were many of these astronauts, and time again, he deferred the focus from himself to the 400,000 people who made the mission possible. Gosling, who is Canadian, then joked, I might have cognitive bias, so I don't think that Neil viewed himself as an American hero. From my interviews with family and people that knew him, it was quite the opposite, and we wanted the film to reflect Neil. Gosling's comments, of course, because we have to be offended about everything, and the moment's omission prompted some criticism from conservatives and call for, here we go, a boycott of the film. So Florida Republicans Marco Rubio said, "This is total lunacy and a disservice at a time when our people need reminders of what we can achieve when we work together. The American people paid for that mission on rockets built by Americans with American technology and carrying American astronauts. It was not a UN mission." The fact that the film does not show the placing of the American flag on the moon is a detail that leaked after First Man made its world premiere a few days ago at the film festival. Trump also weighed in, of course. According to Deadline, the film received a 3-minute standing ovation. At its conclusion, early reviews have been largely glowing. Explaining why he decided to pursue the story, Chazelle said he saw the moon landing as something that was easy to take for granted, especially for people in my generation. So I think I became more fascinated the more I learned what actually went into it. So I think that's another, here we go again with finding something that we have to be offended by with the American flag. And something in another version of this story that I read that I didn't know that maybe Marco Rubio would need to know, and Donald Trump, that actually when they were going to send that up, the first original idea that NASA had and the people that were preparing for this was to take little flags from countries all over the world with them and put those on the moon. And then, I know, kind of cool, right? So people are saying, Chazelle is crazy and doing this, anti-American flag thing. That was the original idea, and then in the committee it got voted down. The rah-rah flag people said no, and that's why we got the other thing. So now people are going to boycott the movie, like we have the Nike we have lots of our boycotts over
As long
flags.
as they don't go burning down movie theaters.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm not kidding,
They can
though.
burn their clothes off, right?
I'm not
Or
kidding,
cut-
though.
what are
Like,
they cutting
boycott
the-
all the movies you want.
Yeah.
Who
Or shooting people that
gives a
decide
shit?
to
So
go
do
see
you
it.
think that is like a thumb in the nose to leave that? It is a pretty big part of when we think
Well,
of the
it's a
moon
huge
landing,
part of it.
we think of the flag. So it's not a little thing.
And it was a major point of national pride.
I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
And-
The space race was a thing that people were watching, and people were competitive with the
Absolutely.
Russians, and
Well, regardless
So
of
did Chazelle hit a false note with
he
this?
made a choice. You know what I
Right.
mean? He
Choices.
made a choice, and that's
Yeah.
what he wanted to do.
I would
make
say-
good choices.
He sounds like he wants that whole unity, of
right,
the
but
human
regardless
people.
of if you are happy that the United States did it or not, it is historically accurate
Yes.
that we were the first on the moon. So
Yes.
regardless,
Yes.
it doesn't matter.
Right.
I don't care what country you're from. Yeah, you have to in the world history. You have to understand that that's what happened.
Sure.
Right.
So I think it should have been in there. I don't care what country it was. I don't care if it was Britain. I don't care
Yeah.
if it was Afghanistan. Doesn't
Right.
make any difference.
They
It should
that
be
makes
left to
sense.
be accurate,
Yes. Okay. Interesting.
and that is what grinds my gears.
Well, but it's not like they depicted that they did something else. They
no,
just
they
left
just-
that scene out.
Yeah, and they're not going to show the whole movie. They would take up the whole movie to show all. They left other things out too.
Right. So they just
So-
chose to leave that scene
Yeah.
out, and I think that's fine.
So it's pretty innocuous
I'll
in
bet
your
I'll
opinion.
bet it's a great movie still. I'll
Oh,
bet
yeah.
it's things that I still want to watch.
Yep, I'm definitely watching it. Okay.
I think it's just a choice.
I didn't have a
And-
funny
and
one
I
this
don't-
week.
I think it's fine.
So
Well, there's that. I think this is my last.
I like protests.
No, it is not. It's not my last story. God, how many stories have we done? How many stories did I have on here? 4?
You
well,
did-
you
you said
hollered out
3.
like
I
7
four of them.
headlines. I
Well,
don't know what you did.
2 of them are like short stories. And then we can actually move on to our next segment. A naked man who sprinted with Los Angeles police officers running after him and a police helicopter overhead is in custody after a lengthy chase. The pursuit started.
Was his name
What?
Jacob Triweiler? Was it after show tunes? Jacob, are you okay?
This was in L.A. though. The pursuit started at dawn.
I don't know where they go when they leave.
Last Friday and was shown live on TV news helicopters after a man abandoned a suspected stolen truck on a freeway east of downtown Los Angeles. Illuminated by a police helicopter spotlight, the man sprinted along footpaths through a homeless encampment and scaled a fence.
Like you do.
Officers closed in as he hid under trees, but the man then ran down an embankment and across several busy freeway connecting roads, dodging cars left and right. The man disappeared into a hilly wooded area behind residences, but officers later caught up with him. He was not immediately identified. L.A. Everything
know.
happens in L.A. It's astounding to me, all this stuff. And finally, our last headline story. And Marnie, I think you'll understand this because of a certain age that we are.
Fair point.
Former classmates reunited in Michigan to uncover a time capsule buried 30 years ago. The result?
wow.
Couldn't find it.
Oh.
The
Were they drinking when they buried it? Because that may or
The seven
may not have happened to me
classmates,
one
the
time.
7 classmates and 2 teachers spent 2 hours on Sunday digging outside the Coloma Junior High School in southwestern Michigan. Tracy Gilmer said that she remembers putting a Michael Jackson cassette in the box in 1988, along with some assignments from an accelerated writing and reasoning program that were included. That included some fictional country. I'm not sure what that means. I guess they wrote about a fictional country. Quote, "We had our own constitution, and I actually sewed a flag for our country. I think the flag is in the time capsule," she told a local newspaper. A teacher named Sherry Sanders said information about the capsule was filed away but somehow got lost. Some wonder if rebellious classmates actually dug up the time capsule and did something with it. Quote, "We were all kind of in the dark trying to remember what was in there," Sanders said. Coloma school superintendent Dave Eller said the box may have been unearthed earlier when work was performed to alleviate flooding behind the school. The group might use a different metal detector and keep hunting for it. The former teacher added, "It was an English class. We didn't know how to measure."
That's awesome.
we weren't exactly sure how far away and how this and that.
How it all worked.
That's great.
math is hard.
Math is hard.
It's
Yeah.
so difficult.
That's awesome.
Well, I don't know what you guys are going to talk about. We're going to do our teaser for our next hour. It's the entertainment, so Doug and Kat are going to take over this. Go ahead, kids.
My ex-future ex-wife is moving. News about Madam Secretary, my sometimes, what do you call it, obsession? You got anything?
Glenn Close is on her way to an Oscar.
Sure.
Oh.
Sure, good for her.
Got
Very
news
excited
about the
it.
Goldbergs.
The Goldbergs. Sweet. I forgot I watched that show.
Yeah.
Wow, look
It's a
at
good
you.
show. Look at us. We got entertainment.
Yeah.
You'll figure that all
We're
out, I'm
entertaining.
sure. That's good. Look at
Ish.
you doing good things with whatever
All
the
the
hell you
good
just did.
things.
I can't find my. Where the hell is my.
Go to break?
Right.
Is it called Go to Break?
No, because it's in a. Oh, I hate when I can't find stuff.
It's in a
Well,
container, and you got to do the click, and then
It's
the
the
drag,
thing.
and then
The
the thing over
struggle is
here.
There's so many things.
The thing
yeah.
and the thing.
It's a lot going on.
The
over
up and the
there.
down and the
There's
left and the
always a lot
right
going
and
on. Why can't I find that goddamn
So many things.
break?
We have too many things.
Oh, there it is. This is
We're
what
living
I want.
in a material world.
That's what I want to
I
hear.
am
Dear,
a material girl.
Exactly.
We'll be right back.
Well, there you
You
go.
know,
There you have it.
I'm relating.
This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It is hour 3, our C block, our final segment of tonight's show. It's a Tuesday night. You're in Studio C with the entire cast. Kat Carlson is
Here
here,
I am.
Monty Reiner, and our non-paid contributor to the Q Talk America Network, Doug Wilkie, is
Can we make Chiron?
Thank
in.
you.
We should be on
Can
lower
we do like a
thirds.
Oh my
zoom
God, I would
in?
love a
A
Chiron.
lower,
Oh my
lower
God, Kat,
third.
I love that you said that.
We'll see if we can figure
would
that
be
out. Anyway,
amazing.
Doug Wilkie is here filling in as he's done for most
Yeah.
We will
of
slightly
2018.
misspell his name. And
But
call
Al
him an
Perkins-
That
unpaid
would be
contributor.
wonderful.
Al
Yeah.
Perkins has the night off, and he'll be joining us
Oh my
hopefully
God, I'm
next
so
Tuesday.
excited.
And we can find out all that's going on with him. But who knows who will be out next week?
Who
Tune
knows?
in and find out, won't you?
Maybe me. Am I due?
What's
You
next
never know.
week?
Well, as we start the third and final hour of this show, we're going to turn over some entertainment stuff. We're going to let this be handled by Kat Carlson and Doug Wilkie and see how it goes. So take it, kids.
Well, I'm going to start. We talked about McCain's funeral, but we didn't talk about Aretha's funeral.
Oh, God. Yes.
I heard there's some issues.
Well,
There's some
about
drama.
that.
That motherfucker was 8 hours long, but here I have.
Well,
I didn't watch any of it. I'm ashamed to say.
If she
I
could have
watched a little
spoke, she
bit.
would have said,
I've been playing Aretha
Yeah.
clips all week too.
Okay, all right.
Fantastic. However, I have controversies.
oh,
over
Yes.
Aretha's funeral.
God.
This
I
is
heard
what
that
I'm
this is a big
curious
deal.
about this. I heard something about
Well,
the preacher
The preacher?
The pa-
eulogy.
that's the,
Yeah.
well, the very
Okay.
first thing is the
I know
groping
nothing about it.
pastor.
Right.
Yes,
Groping.
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, did you not see this?
Did he grope the corpse?
No.
After after Ariana
that'd be a
Grande's
problem.
rendition
Ariana Grande.
of "You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman," which was panned by critics.
I mean,
but
I
Aretha would sit
I
up
just
and
had a
go,
problem with her dress.
R-E-S-P-C-T.
That's not what you wear to a
Sorry.
funeral.
you better think.
you know,
She looked like a hooker.
Who looked like a hooker?
Ariana Grande.
well,
Oh.
we've reached the slut shaming part
Yeah,
of
yeah,
our,
here we
of our
are.
program.
Yeah.
Good
Oh,
job.
I thought we were talking about
It
Aretha.
doesn't listen.
Is it slut shaming when you don't dress appropriately to a funeral?
Listen,
though?
boys and girls,
Oh.
it doesn't matter what she wears to what. You don't have a right to touch her, period.
Oh, no, no.
absolutely not.
No, I'm just
The
complaining
end.
about what she was wearing.
I know,
Yeah.
but that's where it starts. Like, we're complaining about what she's wearing while we're talking about the pastor groping her.
Oh,
It does
well,
not
that's
matter
not-
what
I
she
didn't
wore.
realize
That
She
was
could have
not
been
my
wearing
intention.
No.
motherfucking pajamas.
Yes, you're right.
Nobody has the right to touch her.
I
Teddy.
wasn't saying they did.
Yeah. No.
Charles Ellis III thought differently.
Oh, because
Yeah.
he was able to and did.
Pulled her in real close. There's
Oh.
pictures of her like
I will find the picture.
Oh,
You'll see.
lean way out while he's grabbing a big old handful of
Wow.
side boob. It's
No
awkward
way.
and awful.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh,
know
Awful,
that.
that's
awful, awful.
terrible.
Yikes.
So bad. He has since been, apologetic.
Defrocked.
Owned up to being too friendly.
Oh.
Yeah. Gosh, I didn't mean to be so friendly.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not friendly, it's assault.
Yeah.
I don't care how short her skirt was.
Yeah.
It's assault.
I don't care how much side boob.
Did we find the side boob?
Hang
We'll
on.
come back to it.
I'll get that.
And then the offensive and distasteful eulogy. In his much criticized eulogy, Reverend Jasper Williams Jr.
Jasper Williams Jr. Yeah.
appeared to dismiss Black Lives Matter,
Oh.
suggests that single black mothers are incapable of raising their sons alone.
Wow.
This is the shot you're talking about right here.
Oh.
Oh yeah, no, there's another one where she's leaned way back
Also, is
from
that
him.
her breastbone or is that a shirt?
What's that? No, that's a shirt. That's like
oh,
a
thank
sheer.
God, because I was like, she's
Look at
sickly.
she's like totally looking at his
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah.
Like,
She's like, what
where's
the
that
fuck
going
is this,
next?
dude?
Yeah.
Not okay. Anyway, Reverend Jasper Williams Jr. Appeared to not grope anybody, but dismissed Black Lives Matter, suggested single black mothers incapable of raising their sons alone, blamed black people for killing ourselves,
Oh, that's good.
and some people might note that not much of this speech had anything to do with Aretha Franklin.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, it's offensive and distasteful that he used this platform to push his agenda, which, no. Super no.
No. Wow.
Is
That
thi-
part I didn't know. I
is
just saw the
this- is
headline
this the
about
one
that
you were talking
eulogy,
about?
and that's the one I wanted to know
Yes.
Look at her pulling
Yeah, look at
away
her pulling
for
away.
real.
about. Yeah, that's really bad.
Stop feeling me up, Reverend.
Wow.
I'm not a little boy.
Oh,
Right.
This isn't a Catholic
Wrong
funeral.
religion.
wow. Well, I had seen the headline about the eulogy, but I didn't know like what it just said. Apologizing
Yeah,
for
yeah.
controversy, and I was like, "What? How is a eulogy controversial? I
Did
couldn't
he call her
understand
Patti
that."
LaBelle too?
Yeah.
I mean, that would
Yeah,
be controversy.
so,
but this,
yeah.
that's terrible.
That's
Yeah.
really bad.
Holy shit. Can you imagine sitting out there
Oh God, no!
in the congregation like, what?
Wow.
Right.
So there was a
They're
lot
all looking-
happening.
A
in
lot
that
happening.
in that 8 hours.
And
Wow. 8
Yeah.
hours of the service.
Jeez.
Like when you think Aretha Franklin, you think of a lot of things. You think, what in the hell is going on? You might think of her as an activist and a feminist icon,
I
but
think respect.
Sure.
weirdly, not a
thinking.
lot of women at her funeral
Okay.
speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Almost entirely men.
She
Do you
wasn't
think
Mormon,
is that a
was
black,
Mostly-
she?
is that
Now-
a black church thing?
It might be.
Yeah.
Well, because I
It
mean,
might be.
in the Mormon church, that certainly would be the issue, but I don't know
Sure.
about.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a church
Yeah.
thing.
That's
or-
interesting. They had black women singing, but not
Mhm.
not
But
like
not speaking.
eulogizing
So was
her.
it
Yeah.
curiosity?
That's an interesting point because
Curiosity,
it
was
being
it
the
Baptist?
feminist
Was it?
Mhm.
icon, you would think they would.
You would think that she would have inspired more women
You
to
bet,
get up
you
and
bet.
speak.
That is very interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Well,
So-
Now I'm
maybe
curious.
just like McCain wrote, "I don't want Trump at the service." Maybe she said Mariah is not speaking.
I don't know her.
I don't know
I
her.
don't know her.
Tell her to sit her
I
ass
don't
down.
know her.
Yeah, something like that. You
Maybe.
don't know.
Could
Might
be.
have happened.
Who knows?
Mhm.
Who knows?
Could be.
Anyway,
Wow.
you want to ping
For
pong back
real.
and forth? You got anything over there, pal?
On this
On
topic?
entertainment?
or-
On
No.
anything?
No.
Any
Oh,
Entertainment.
topic,
We're
any
just-
entertainment stuff you want to talk
Yeah,
about.
you're
Just
right.
move right along.
Last week I went and saw the movie The Wife with Al,
I don't know what it is.
Glenn Close's new movie.
Oh,
And it was very good. We really enjoyed it. She's fantastic in it. I mean, she's she's always good, but it was just nice to see her in another
She's
really
amazing.
amazing role, which doesn't come in that age. For women in Hollywood, you don't get a lot of roles like that. It's based on a book. I didn't know anything much about the story, which was kind of cool to. Normally, when I go to see a movie at the theater, I already know like a lot about it. And
Sure.
I didn't really know anything about it, and I'm not gonna. It took some interesting turns that I didn't see coming, and it was just really well done, really good. And of course, for our big, Oscar obsession, it's looking like this is because we've wanted Glenn Close to have an Oscar for a long time.
Sure.
It's all of our nominations and no wins.
Okay.
And there was some little strategy. I think Al might have mentioned that, but the film was actually released in 2017 at the Toronto Film Festival.
okay.
And got really good reviews, but they saw that the movie, the one with Frances McDormand, the Three Billboards,
Ebbing. Yeah.
and
mhm.
so because there might not be a lot of more chances for Glenn Close,
Right.
they pulled the film. They didn't choose to release it. When you release at a film festival, it doesn't qualify for Oscar nominations. It needs to be released in the theaters.
Okay.
So they held on to it because they said, no, Frances McDormand's going to win an Oscar, so we're
Okay.
not doing this. So it looks like their little trickery is going to work because they're not predicting as strong a year. So it really is looking like she's going to win, and this is making Al and I very happy because we feel like we
Sure.
can.
That'll be a good year
Oh
to
my
support
God!
her. Sure.
Yes.
Until they come out with
It's-
Meryl's new movie.
Yeah. right. And someone
night,
said, "Is
Harrison.
Shearson
Come on,
Ronan
honey."
or whatever her name is, or
Right,
someone's going to
right,
make
right.
a movie at the last second and
Yeah.
steal her Oscar?"
Yeah.
But
That'd
so,
be
but
bullshit.
it's a really good story, and it does have some feminist issues going on, and sacrifices that people that the wife makes, and it's very interesting.
Okay.
I liked it. It was very
Who else was in it?
interesting. The guy, Jonathan Pryce plays the husband. He was in Evita, among other things. Her daughter. Okay, this is interesting. There's a flashback part of the movie, and in the flashback, I said, that girl is beautiful, Al. Who is that? Looked it up. It was actually Glenn Close's daughter.
Oh.
Plays Glenn Close when she was younger in the movie. She's beautiful. I didn't know her daughter acts. It's a good way. Does she? I didn't know
does.
that. It's a great way to get a job. but
Right.
No, I think she has. I think
did she
has
have
a pretty long list of
She's
credits.
beautiful. You should see just a luminous in the
Okay.
film. So, yeah, I had
That's
nothing else
exciting.
but on that. But it's good.
I love
Glenn
it.
Close's daughter.
I think that's exciting.
It's one of those. I don't think I've seen her before, but you're probably going to tell me the movie that I did see her in before. But
Yeah, just not knowing who she was, maybe.
Let's see.
I
no,
thought she
probably
was
nothing.
in Damages. Wasn't she in Damages?
It doesn't list it
I
here.
She
feel
might
like
have
she was in
been. No, I think
Damages.
you're right about that, Marnie.
Yeah.
I think she
Which
was.
was so fabulous.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
thinking of Meryl Streep's daughter anyway.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I
that-
was gonna say
That's
Meryl
a whole
Streep's
different
That's
daughter.
that, and
Yeah.
she
That's a whole
looks.
different
She
animal.
looks like
like
her.
her.
She looked. You would know. Like Glenn Close's daughter just doesn't really look. I mean, it doesn't jump
Yeah.
right out at you.
I was
or-
thinking of a whole different girl.
That's okay.
A whole different.
Yep.
Old white woman.
So that's that's exactly right.
A whole
love it.
different one.
There was, let's see, because I just have my little tidbit of information. And it really, breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Really.
Because I watch the Goldbergs.
I'm telling you, it's the most exciting fucking thing ever to happen on TV. Are you people ready?
Edge of my seat.
I know. Rick Springfield to guest star on the Goldbergs.
Oh,
that
good
is-
God.
That's very good news.
Oh my God, you have no idea.
That's cool.
I know.
God, how many filters are they going to put on him? He looks like shit.
Because they're gonna he's gonna need to look like the '80s, right?
Are they going to do the
Well,
hologram
no,
thing?
he is-
No, are they going to do the
Actually,
hologram
that's
thing?
true. He's going to have to look like he did in the
Yeah.
80s.
To celebrate
Do they have
fall
his old
TV.
face somewhere?
No. In the Smithsonian.
Bullshit.
To celebrate fall TV in our huge fall TV preview, Entertainment Weekly is bringing you 50 scoops in 50 days. So I can give more if you need more.
I'm
Just
good.
letting you
Exciting.
know.
so
For once,
exciting.
Beverly Goldberg's sweaters aren't going to be the coolest thing on the Goldbergs. EW can exclusively reveal that rocker Rick Springfield, the singer behind hits such as Jesse's Girl, will guest star in the 3rd episode of the ABC Comedy's upcoming 6th season.
Wow.
Squeal! Springfield, whose recent television credits include Supernatural and American Horror Story, will play Erica's new boss, the owner of a karaoke bar called Karaoke's.
Oh, so he's not going to be playing.
so
He's not going to play
happy.
himself.
Oh, I thought he was gonna be Rick
At
Springfield.
last, I get to play a guy from the 80s, Springfield says. I'm
That's how they get around
excited
the
to
age.
guest star on the Goldbergs and return back to 1980 something. All I can tell you is smitten and happier than a pig in shit. Just ecstatic.
So he's not gonna be Rick Springfield then. That's
No, but I
interesting.
bet that he'll sing Jesse's
Yeah,
Girl.
they'll put some
the
make
karaoke,
a joke in there.
like, you know,
Oh, that would be good.
karaoke.
If they want to afford the rights to that song.
Maybe they
But
can.
does he have the
Can't
rights, or
Rick-
does the
can't
company
Rick just
have
say,
it?
go ahead and we'll play it?
I don't know how that all works. I
Oh.
actually have no
yeah,
idea
who
how
like
that all
owns
works.
it? Maybe the company,
Right,
record
like his
company
label
owns
may
it.
say nay.
Or
Or
may,
they,
right, it
They'll
may
say
be
"fuck
like,
you, pay me."
right.
It might be like,
Like
him at
Aretha.
his concert, though. I've been to a few where
Cash
you
money.
know he yeah, that's right, in a little bag. Where
Flings it up on the
at
piano.
his concert, like maybe 5 songs in, you hear da na 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 na, and everybody goes fucking nuts, and then he's like, just kidding, and then he goes on, and it's old to folks that are going anymore, but I still just, of course, I just chuckle
Sure.
every time. I'm
You
like,
fall
"That's
for it
awesome."
every time.
I don't fall for it, maybe, but I love it. And then he'll do it again, maybe like 4 or 5 times throughout the show, and it's very, very funny, and I enjoy it. And so maybe that's what they'll do, right? Like na 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 na, and then
You watch the show, right?
I do now. Yeah,
Isn't it
I
good?
caught all the way up.
It's a fun.
It's
Al's the
delightful.
one that turned
very,
me-
very fun.
Al
Yeah.
turned me onto that. I wasn't, when you see it and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna watch that.
Right.
I was like, just watch one time, and I did. I'm like, this show is so good.
Hysterical. Yeah.
I'm
And the
always
fact
like-
that it's real, like that it's based on.
Based on
Yeah.
So-
some of it loosely.
And I love at the end when they'll show like the real picture of her. I'm like, oh my god, that is so cool. So you know what I like about that show? It's hard to pull this off because sitcoms they do a lot of sarcasm and edge and whatever. That show does such a good job of the sweet ending without making you sick. Like
Sure.
it should not actually work. You should be like, oh my god. But they've like sort of brought that back. And they always do it. They always have the little conflict or whatever the thing is.
Right.
That show, it's so good at the way it ends in such a sweet-natured, loving way every single time.
Yeah.
But it
Like
but
the
it
old
works.
sitcoms
That's what I was
did,
trying to say.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Like the old way,
Right,
but
right.
better.
Yeah.
It's really a good show, and I love what's her McClendon Covey, the mom.
The mom is.
She's so good. I wish
whatever, but
Chris McClendon Covey, who's from Reno 911, which was
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
Clayton's the one who introduced
Oh.
me to Reno 911.
Yeah,
Oh,
was that the
fucking
best
love-
show ever?
I
Clayton?
love that show. That
I'm so
Wendy,
happy to
her
hear you
name's
say that.
Wendy.
And Nisi,
Thank you. I was
thank
thinking
you.
that was her,
Niecy
character.
Nash on that show, and
Yeah.
Carlos
Beverly Hills,
Rocky,
okay.
No.
and Thomas
Oh.
Lennon,
All of
and
them.
Carrie Kenny.
the whole cast was fantastic.
Do you
The shit
remember
that they did?
Carrie
That's what I was
Kenny,
thinking
like,
it was.
just being halfway like suicidal throughout the whole show? Her character,
Right.
Yeah, and then when she was like, "I think with my prescription and some therapy, I think I'll hold on for about 1 more year." And the fucking Koreans.
I have to go back and rewatch the
it's
whole
so good.
series, but no,
I'll help refresh your memory.
that series is great.
And produced a lot of great breakout stars.
It's a good time. You know what's not great?
Oh no.
Well done.
Demi Lovato's having a bad year.
Oh,
She is
your
having
future
a
your
bad
future
year.
wife?
My ex-future ex-wife.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again. Future ex-wife.
My ex-future ex-wife.
Okay.
Yep.
So here's what
She's no
happened.
longer a contender.
She's not having a good run
Here's
right
what happened.
She's not.
Moments before the overdose, I
Ah,
decided
yes.
that it just wasn't going to work out.
At all.
I let Demi know bad things happened. Now I drove her straight back to Wilmer Valderrama.
She really did.
Oh no.
But
Right into his
now-
arms. Right into his arms.
But
What?
now,
I would like to be driven to Wilmer Valderrama.
No
would-
shit.
right, many people would. But now, hang on, I got to deny this request again. Jesus Christ, go to bed,
Wow.
child.
She's multitasking.
A
Mom.
source. I know. I'm sitting here.
You're ruining a 13-year-old's
ruining-
life.
Exactly.
And regaling us
Okay,
with stories
if
of
you-
Demi
Fantastic.
And
Lovato.
if you'd like to have a refresher of what Demi and Wilmer look like together,
Oh,
they're
good
there.
It's
God.
wonderful. Like, oh,
Okay,
I
that's
can't-
so beautiful. I don't even
even-
know what to say
I don't know what I was
on
thinking.
both sides.
What was I thinking? Anyway,
I'd have sex with both of them at
At
the same time.
so we need to start. There's a,
Sorry.
no, I don't blame you. We need to start a GoFundMe for me.
for you.
Oh,
For me.
okay.
All right, to do what?
Oh.
Well, a source familiar with the subject confirmed to
AP.
News
Oh.
that Demi Lovato, my future ex-wife Demi Lovato,
Yes.
is selling her house
Ah.
to focus on getting healthy
Oh.
and moving forward.
You could
According to the
live.
listing on Zillow,
Yep.
it's a 4-bedroom, 6-bathroom house
Okay.
going for a paltry $9,495,000.
Yeah,
So,
we can raise that.
yeah.
A 4-bedroom,
www.
6-bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because there's a perhaps a mud room and then a powder room and then
You
4
got your
suites upstairs.
bathrooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every room must have its own bathroom. I'm going to assume
Clearly.
at that point.
Of course,
Clearly,
right.
yeah.
Then
why-
you've got the 2 extra. Okay, all right. I just
right. If I'm Mrs. Demi Lovato, you think I'm sharing a bathroom?
Fuck no.
No.
Right.
Where's I'm sorry, where was this house again?
Well, it is. Actually, it doesn't say just yet at the very top. Apparently, they've buried the lead. The home apparently has an unobstructed view from downtown to the Pacific Ocean
Well, I was going to
on
say
over
LA.
an acre of land. So I'm guessing LA.
Sounds good.
LA, Santa Monica.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Then blah blah
Malibu.
blah overdose. Blah blah blah. Fucked up the words.
Blah
We
blah
heard all
blah
this stuff.
overdose.
Blah blah
Wow.
blah. Anyway,
Boring.
what I want you to do is I want you to go to
Well, you
www.
yada 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 over the best part.
.gofundme.com/Cat wants to live in Demi's house.
I love this idea.
Yeah, just no donation is too big or too small. Let's make
No.
this happen.
Sure.
Let's
Sure.
make dreams
Sure.
come true. Let's get things moving and
Make
shaking people.
dreams come true.
Open those
Open
pocketbooks
those
for
pocketbooks.
good.
It's kind of, and I don't know if this is your angle at all, but it's like a
Jenny, is there a pool? Got a
Oh,
pool?
it's a
she's a-
good like.
It's
kind
actually
of-
the Hollywood Hills is where the home is.
Ah, okay.
Okay,
It's
that
a.
makes
It's
sense.
got a stalker vibe
A
element to
little
it.
bit,
Like
yeah.
Who,
I-
my thing?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, it doesn't have
totally.
to. I'm not saying it has to, but it's like
Oh, I
I
think it
can
does.
picture you if you're in love with her, like being like, now I'm in the home of.
Oh, there's
the
a
person,
beautiful pool.
right?
Look at that
Yeah.
pool.
Hang on, I'm getting pictures right now.
Are you?
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
my
fuck
of my
yeah, I am.
future home.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I
you
mean,
are.
wouldn't you be like, this is the bedroom Demi like slept in and.
So, the thing I think we're missing is that it's more
Well, that's what we're missing.
like
Come on.
hilarious and conversational and a whole lot less psychotic than you're thinking.
Okay.
Right. Because I think it's funny to talk about my future ex-wives. There's a couple.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't know that.
It
Okay.
depends on who's on the show tunes.
Oh, okay.
It's a shtick. I don't know if you're familiar. It's a shtick.
Okay.
Now, what I'd
My
like to
secret is out.
now, what I'm not sure of about this lovely house that has wonderful views and is
Oh, God, look at
$9.5 million currently. Where does the truck go for you to sit on the tailgate to
Yeah,
drink
good
your
call,
beer?
Good call.
Interesting. Wait.
Got to figure this one
Yeah,
out.
gotta look.
Well, wait,
is
there was
it
an aerial
four-wheel
view. Let me look
drive?
at the
'Cause,
aerial.
you know,
Oh, I need the aerial view.
yeah.
That's what I need.
If it's 4-wheel drive, she can go, you know,
So it kind of looks like I could back the truck right up to the pool, which would be
a
perfect.
delight.
Oh, hang on.
That'd
I
be
see.
perfect.
I'm seeing. Oh, the kitchen's lovely.
Yeah, the kitchen's wonderful.
Where was she found? Was she found in the kitchen?
No, I don't know.
I appreciate Jenny. Blah, blah, overdose.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, Narcan.
Boring.
We already covered all of
Blur,
that.
blur, blur.
Pay
What
attention
else?
when you
That's
listen,
right.
people.
Get to the
Right.
important part.
I don't
Wow.
know.
Oh, I see. She's got a boom boom room. I see
Ooh.
that.
Oh, there's a
Hey.
gazebo. Did you see the one with the gazebo?
Oh, boy.
There's a little brick path down to a
I
gazebo.
can believe there is.
I'll bet there's some Narcan still stashed in that gazebo.
Wow.
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 Show me the lie.
Yeah.
Show me the lie.
I think you're right, spot on, yeah.
Oh, and when the realtor was there, they had the Born Identity on TV. Look at that.
Oh, no, they did not.
There's Matt Damon.
That's great. Hello, Jason.
There's a teepee in the backyard. Look at that. Play Cowboys and Indians.
Oh, well, not
Now,
anymore.
here's a shot.
Oh,
Now-
see,
Cowboys and
here's the
Native
driveway. No,
Americans.
find this one. There's the driveway.
Right. No, I figured, but you,
Yeah.
the driveway. Well, actually, if you see, look at the picture we've got on the screen right now.
Oh,
See
that's a
where
good
the black
picture.
SUV is.
Yeah.
Right, so the
That's the
driveway's up there
driveway.
in the back. So I would have a beautiful view of the hill while I
Sure.
sat on my tailgate
Oh,
in
I'd
the
knock
driveway.
that little wall down and go right to the pool. I
But
agree with
it
you.
may be an RV gate.
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
I really may be able to just pull
Yeah,
my
that
truck
could
right
be.
up to
And
the
just drink
right up
your
to the
beer.
pool,
Could
drink
be.
my beer,
And-
gaze at my mountain and my pool,
And deny access to your
Yeah.
child.
and deny
Absolutely.
access to Skype,
Yeah.
ruin
Are
a
you
young
still-
man's
That's
life.
life.
How's it's still going? You still denying?
You know what? I got
many-
distracted for a minute. This shit's been going on since 9 o'clock
Oh,
when
no.
the curfew starts,
And he's not giving up.
and he's not giving up. Well, he's at his dad's, so he's got a
Oh.
later bedtime and is accustomed to no
Oh,
rules.
so
no,
I see. So
oh,
I got
the no rules at dad house. That's a common
Are you sure there's? Are you sure there's not
denominator.
a setting by account where you can go in and say
Just
like a time frame setting?
Well, but the problem is, and the thing of it is that a thing does come up and says, nope, you can't have access. If you think you should have access, send a request to an adult.
Okay.
And then it rings my bell.
Wow. That
Right.
sounds like a
like that.
Right. But then it sends me a notification.
right. So he's knowingly sending an adult a request.
Repeat. He's mad and he's sitting there pushing the button, pushing the button.
Thinking
Yeah.
to
It's kind
drive
of
you
like
crazy
when
because
we
you have to
were
deny it every
younger
time, right?
And
That
you were calling someone and it was busy.
Can you temporarily disable whatever his login is? So he actually it just would like no, you have no access at this point.
Oh God.
No,
that would
because
piss him off.
it comes up before even the login screen. So his device, he has the same device I do.
Okay.
And it comes up, and before he can even put his PIN number in to get in, it says, "Nope, you're not allowed to be on here right now." And
Oh.
it provides the button
Okay.
to ask.
Gotcha.
And I think Sharon has approved it a couple of times because I've had to kick him back out, and I've gotten other requests. We're having a lovely time.
Golly, this
Having a great time. He may have just about given up, or I wasn't paying attention and he got through. I don't know.
But you can kick him out, right?
Thank you.
Atta girl. God.
Unfortunately, Microsoft doesn't tell me if he's in. Like, it's not quite that big brothery. It doesn't tell me exactly what he's doing right now. But yeah, I can go through all the settings and kick again. And I'm gonna. Kick.
It's fantastic.
I feel like
Kick.
tune into next week's show to see how this turns out
Yeah.
because I'm not exactly sure.
On next week's show, Cat got to sleep in the driveway.
She now has a chase lounge instead of just a chair
There's now an air mattress in the van.
Yeah.
down by the river.
Living in a van.
I like it.
Living in the
I
van.
Yeah. In any event, GoFundMe.com/buy Cat Demi's house.
Well, maybe. Be afraid.
Just $5 helps.
Just
the
anything.
tip.
Yeah.
You got to play some Sarah McLachlan
$20
music and
is
get
good.
set.
If 200,000 people gave me $5,
If we do this
That would not be
GoFundMe, then
if
are we gonna have to decide how we dole it out, like in that
Yeah,
other
it'll
story?
be a trust.
Yeah,
like,
we're
what's
gonna have a
gonna-
trust.
we're
by
gonna
the
have a
way, it'll
trust.
be in a trust.
This is gonna
Trust
get ugly.
me.
If 2 million
And,
people, wait, I got the math. If 2 million people gave me just $5, that would be enough.
That would be enough.
That would be enough.
Wow.
Well, I gotta pay. I
That
gotta
would
pay
be
realtors and
enough.
closing costs
Right,
too.
but then
know?
you can negotiate while I got cash, and then
Oh,
we'll go from
sure.
Yeah.
go from
Oh,
like
right.
Cheaper.
9.5 maybe down to like 8,
Right. I
7.
I might be able to buy a hamburger
or
when I
nine-
was all
Oh
done.
my God, yes.
That'd be very exciting.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
nice if you could get your.
Like I said,
I like
it'll be in a
hamburgers.
trust, as I just told Doug. Trust me.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
get it.
keep it right here in my
Yes.
pocket.
I'll
right.
have it
in
for
Clayton's
you.
bra
Clayton's
strap.
bank.
It'll
Yeah,
be fine.
sure.
Yeah.
Rings cat's bell like Demi does.
Nobody.
I don't know why she's got to be that hot. It's just not fair.
It's
Yeah.
well, it's kind of illegal.
It's not okay.
And with Wilmer, I mean, the two of them. Can you imagine the children?
And
I don't want to.
I'm just saying.
Makes me
like,
sad.
Makes
I cry at night.
And does he do anything anymore?
Yeah,
is he
he's
on
on
a
NCIS.
show?
He's
What's
on,
he on?
Yeah,
NCIS.
NCIS.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
He does that. He still produces several other shows, and he's involved in a lot of other
working
things.
actor.
He
Romer's
runs to
busy.
Demi Lovato's rescue all the time.
And why wouldn't you, for the love of Pete? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I almost got in my car when I heard that she
Sure,
overdosed. I
right.
was like, Demi, I'm coming, babe.
6-hour drive. She does it in 4 hours. I don't know how she did it, but Cat's there.
Magic.
Hollywood Hills,
That man
ladies
can
and
really
gentlemen.
hum along on the freeway.
Yeah, the van really. the
On the
family
interstate,
truckster.
the interstate, it really goes.
Family truckster is on the move, ladies and gentlemen.
My gosh.
God.
What else are we doing?
That's
Oh my God,
great.
it's 10 o'clock. What else
It
are we
is
doing?
10 o'clock.
Do we want to talk about
Fantastic.
more stuff?
Is there anything
Do
else we
wanna
need to
be
wrap,
done?
talk about, or do, or are we pretty?
We did a lot.
We accomplished a lot.
Very
we really
busy.
did.
And we've healed a lot.
We have
And actually,
Healing.
Actually, we all got to talk more because Al wasn't here.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God, that's
We-
why my
Right.
throat kind of
Right.
a little
It's
bit.
for-
That is an
It's
interesting
Very fun.
dynamic.
I did drink more water this week.
Oh, see,
Or
Look
dry
down.
from talking. See, that's
Right.
what happened. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly how that works out.
That's interesting. Huh, we'll have to point that out to him.
Oh, heaven's sakes!
I like it. I also just want to give a shout out
Oh.
to the dad.
Just the one
Molly Tip.
Just
I'm
the
getting
one.
it.
Oh,
Molly
this is
Tippett's
good.
dad.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is really good.
Oh,
Because the Molly Tibbet is the young lady who was murdered, horrible, in Iowa. And a gentleman came forward, loosely used, who admitted to everything and confessed. And he happened to be a person Donald Trump would like to be able to blame, right? Like that, point a finger and say, "Oh, you see, all of them are like you."
Right.
Anyway, during the eulogy, Tibbet's dad rejected the anti-immigrant rhetoric and said the Hispanic community are Iowans, and just was like, stop using my daughter's death and her murder
as your agenda.
as your agenda.
He
for
wrote
your
it. He wrote it as
political
an
agenda.
op-ed too
Yep.
to Donald Trump Jr., who wouldn't
oh.
shut the fuck up
Yeah,
about it.
what a fucking puke.
Mhm.
That one. Yeah. Yeah. So
It's amazing, and that whole she wasn't murdered because of any immigration status. She was murdered because of men's violence against women.
absolutely.
That is
Right.
the only issue, and I like that. And that to be grieving and yet still do that. That's
Right.
really amazing.
I'm surprised that we haven't heard somebody say that she was asking for it, because usually
Oh,
that's where
God.
that's
Yeah.
usually where that comes in somewhere.
Well, this
she
is
was
this-
dressed a certain way, or
well,
she was.
so this is so awful that now they looked at this thing like women aren't even safe running now. Like
Oh,
when you go
right,
running,
right.
like because now they're looking into this. Like how many women are like catcalled and harassed, and this is really sadly a thing, and that men don't handle rejection very well. So
that's exactly right.
yeah, and I like that he was appealing to them to stop doing it, and they did not respond. Trump dad or
course
Trump son,
not.
they have not said anything
course
about
not.
it. But yeah, there's a saying that you don't get to be more outraged than the person that the
Yeah.
bad thing happened to, and I think that's a good example. Right?
Absolutely.
You don't get to be like, no. If the dad said that, then, and I guess they reached out to the Hispanic community in Iowa
Oh, absolutely.
and
yeah,
said, we're not, we're with you.
yeah. Well, and he
It's really
absolutely-
amazing.
It
It's a
really
touching
is
story.
for as tragic as
Yeah, it's a
the
horrible
story. But don't politicize
No.
what happened. He says the Hispanic community are Iowans.
Yeah,
and he
right.
said that they had embraced him as he searched for his daughter in recent weeks. They have the same values as Iowans. As far as I'm concerned, they're Iowans with better food.
Better food, yeah.
And I appreciate that. He said that he ate at a number of Mexican restaurants where employees were sensitive and kind. They knew when he needed space or when he needed to joke. Today we need to turn the
Wow.
page. We're at the end of a long ordeal, but we need to turn toward
That is
life, Molly's
amazing.
life, because Molly is nobody's victim. Molly is my hero.
Wow.
Yeah. So he hasn't been the only one that a member of Tibbetts' family to reject the false narrative that was pushed onto her by anti-immigrant figures. No, wrote her cousin Sandy in a Facebook post. Especially for those of you who did not know her in life, you do not get to usurp Molly and her legacy for your racist false narrative now that she's no longer with us. We hereby reclaim our Molly.
Oh, wow.
There's still uncertainty regarding her alleged killer's immigration status, but that doesn't matter to the people doing the fear-mongering anyway, because immigrants are criminals has always been their fallback narrative, despite the fact that immigrants are less likely than U.S.-born Americans to commit crime. And one way or
Absolutely
another,
so.
all I picture whenever anything like this happens, I've said it here on a number of Tuesdays, Timothy McVeigh.
Well, the same week that
Every
she died, the
fucking
Colorado guy
time.
that
Right.
strangled his wife and killed
Yes.
2 daughters. And did you get the Amber Alert in the last 48
Yes, I
hours
sure
about the
did.
truck?
I
I knew that was going to be DB
Yeah.
familicide, and it is.
Yeah.
Right? Did you see that have you heard that? He
Yeah,
killed
yeah.
the pregnant
Yeah.
girlfriend
Yep.
and perceived boyfriend
Yep.
who was not even the boyfriend, just a guy that was staying there.
Yep.
Horrible. These stories are horrendous.
Well, and the douchebag in Florida who you beat me at Madden's football game.
right.
So he goes in and just starts
Yeah.
shooting people. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And
Male
then-
violence is the issue,
Right. Well, and
not immigration status.
Exactly.
It drives me nuts.
And if you're going to go with the immigration, I mean, you're spot
Yeah.
on, obviously, about the
Yeah.
male component.
yeah.
But for the love of Jesus, Timothy McVeigh went and killed 168 people. Right? Like bombed the shit out of them.
The Vegas shooter.
And the Vegas shooter.
It just never.
But,
it just
but
goes
again,
on and on and on.
Same thing with in Florida with guy
Video
who
game.
decides he's going to go in with video game.
Yeah.
Because he lost. All of them, come on, they have mental illness.
Yeah.
Come on,
Right.
why do you got to be so mean to
Yeah.
the white guy?
They're suffering.
They
from
are suffering.
Yeah. suffering.
I dropped the mic.
Good job. Good work. Look at all the good
We
do,
shall
people.
suffer no more on tonight's broadcast, and neither shall you listening out there from wherever you are.
Is it time to end there?
I'm
Wow.
trying to
Yeah.
segue. Trying to end everybody's suffering. My God.
My goodness.
I do
Applause.
try.
Applause.
My gosh. Well, who knows what topics will be in store the next time we all get together. If you're listening to us on repeat, which I imagine you are because we're ending the live portion of the show, thank you for doing so on QTalkAmerica.com and all of the streaming services you listen to. Oh, my God. Well, it's been a fun night, guys. Thanks.
Yeah,
It's
thank
all
you.
here. We're all here. We're all together. And each and every week, as we do, we wrap up tonight's show and leave you with a parting thought. We will see you next Tuesday. God
We love
knows.
you, Al.
Who knows who'll be here.